There we go. There we go. There we are. What's going on, guys? Can we hear me? Can we see me? Can we hear me? Can we see me? Let me know. Hey, Casanova, how you doing, man? Welcome, welcome. Looks like you're first today. If you care about that. That's good. That's good. It's very good. There we go. Awesome. How are we doing today on a Sunday? A beautiful, beautiful day. Hope we've gotten a lot of things done that we like to do and have to do. You know, hope we've had a productive day so far and all that good stuff. You guys already know what I'm here for, so let's get to it. What's up, Kia? How you doing? I'm doing good, Casanova. I've had quite the day, getting a lot of stuff done, so I'm happy. I'm happy. There's very few things in the world that make me happy quite like productivity does, so can't complain. Can't complain. You guys already know what we're here for. You know who I am, what I do. I am Jace the Pickup Scientist. How you doing? I am a man of science that likes to specialize in all things concerning the way the world works and the way we relate ourselves to it, including our own inner dynamic relationships, right? I talk about everything from dating, pickups, social dynamics, evolutionary psychology, conversational hypnosis, neuro-linguistic programming, and just all the general laws of the universe and how we relate ourselves to them. So ask me any questions that you want concerning the weirdest, darkest, most interesting, most hidden type of things in the world that you can think of, and I'll try my best to tackle it. Not to say that I know everything, but I know quite a lot, and I like to share. So let's get to it. San Andreas, welcome, welcome. Do me a favor, bro. Go into the group chat, let the boys know I'm here. I wanted to get this from a man's perspective. How can I be there for my boyfriend that has depression? So your boyfriend has depression because he feels like he's stuck in the world. There's only one real reason men have depression, and that's because they've allowed themselves to drift along life for too long without any purpose. There's a book called Outwitting the Devil. It was written by a man called Napoleon Hill. Back in the day, like the 40s or 50s, something like that. And the book discusses a particular law of the universe called the law of hypnotic rhythm. A law that basically solidifies the dominant habits and thoughts and ideas of any given person into the future, right, into continuity. And the negative portion of that law is called drifting, or moving along life in an aimless fashion without any definite purpose. There seems to be a massive correlation between moving through life without any definite purpose and depression. Because your body's job, and yes, your body is a conscious being on its own that sometimes acts outside of your own will, right? That's why we have all these involuntary actions. Your body's job is to warn you when you're not living the way you should be. In many ways, all the things that we call our fears or our anxiety is really just our body and mind's way of warning us when something is wrong, when something is out of whack, when you're not in homeostasis, when you're not in balance, right? When you're not moving with the ebb and flow of the universe. Depression just happens to be one of those many ways we get the warning signal. Does that make sense? The reason I'm going out of my way to explain what this is and, you know, where it comes from is because understanding that will help you understand why you really can't help your man's out. Not in the way you might think you can. You can support him, you can be there for him, obviously you can nudge him in the right direction if you can. But really he's there because he did something incorrectly. Or more specifically, he hasn't been doing certain things correctly. Right? Your man is in that depression of his own doing. That might be hard to hear, and honestly that's usually hard for the person to hear, right? Your man is going to go crazy if you try to tell him that, so don't tell him that, or at least don't be the person to tell him that. But he's there and he's stuck because of what he's not doing. He's not chasing any definite purpose in life. He's not doing anything even on a daily basis. His habits aren't reflecting moving forward or gathering momentum, right? How do you help a man gather momentum? You nudge him in the right direction. The best way I found to do it, if you're a woman, how you can do that for a man, is you use a punishment reward system. Operant conditioning, it's called. Basically, anything you want him to do, you praise him for it. You show him gratitude for it. Anything you praise, you increase, right? That's the law of the universe as well. If you want to see him do more of the things that will lead him down the path of righteousness, so to speak, you have to point it out and praise it. Give a heartfelt compliment, reward with time, attention, whatever it is that he may like or enjoy, right? If you don't want to see him keep beating himself down, mentally trashing himself over and over again, deteriorating further and further into nothingness, then you're going to have to ignore him actively when he's becoming that person. It'll feel like to you that you're abandoning him, and I'm sure there's a part of you that feels that way, but that's necessary. A big part of why men stay like that is because their environment and the people in it, talking about you, encourage it. You're, whether you realize it or not, enabling him to be that way right now. So you have to give him a firm shock to the system. Something that makes him realize, oh, I've been living in squalor, physically and mentally. And if I don't do something about it right now, I can lose what I do have, including the love of this woman. Now, here's my question to you, and this is where I'll end the little explanation for it. How important do you think you are to him? And do you think the loss of you is enough of a motivation to get him to feel that motivation, that urgency to do something? Sorry, buddy. My doggy has a little cold. Sorry, buddy. Okay? Yeah, but, I mean, figure it out. I'd like to know. Come back with good news, hopefully. And people need to stop committing crimes where I'm at. Just did my subscription for a whole year in MMA and boxing, but I'm not good in only hands, more kick. Okay, that's fair. I mean, that's the whole point of having that subscription for the whole year, is that now you get to go and train and practice and spar with other people, so you can not only work on the fundamentals, but develop your own unique style. So that's all part of it. It's all part of the, unique learning curve and experience. Go out there and do your best. Oh, thank you for sending the message, by the way. I appreciate that. How can I do the approach without being creepy, and where should I go to do the approach, club or bar? So, two things. One, the creepiest thing you can do in any given approach is worry about being creepy. Creepiness is an energy. It's an energy you give off when you feel like you're not the one representing more value to the person that you're about to approach, right? It feels creepy when you feel like you have no value to offer. So that's why worrying about being creepy is fundamentally something that only people that have no value to offer do. And that's why it's the creepiest thing you can do, right? So the first rule of not being creepy: don't worry about being creepy. Do the thing that you think is creepy, and do it in a playful manner, and watch how easy it is to get away with it. It's very funny, but very true. That's the first aspect. Second aspect, there's no real difference between a bar or a club. They both fall under what we call night game, right? In my industry, we have day game and night game. Day game is what I prefer to call real life game. The game you play when you're moving through life normally. You're going to the grocery store, to wash your car, the coffee shop, the clothing outlet, you're walking on the street. That's day game. You run into beautiful women and you talk to them. That is in real life as you're going about your day. Night game is usually talking about places like bars or clubs or dance halls or wherever, where these establishments are designed to attract women and curate women in one place so that men can pay a fee to go and see and meet these women, right? So there's no real difference between a bar or a club. You're meeting women under the same pretext, and that as in under the same context, if you want to use that word instead, which is that you're trying to get women's attention in a place where you think you're more likely to meet them. And that's a very different context than meeting a woman that you happen to run into in the aisles of a grocery store. That's why I always preach day game. Obviously, I preach day game for several reasons. One, a lot less competition. Two, higher barrier to entry, which is why there's a lot less competition. As in, most guys feel more comfortable approaching a woman in a bar or club because the establishment and the environment allows for that to be the case. When you approach a woman in a club or a bar and you walk up to her and go, "You're beautiful," not that you should say that line, it's corny, but if you were to say something like that, it's more socially acceptable to do it there because that is what is assumed to be the environment that allows for that to happen, as opposed to doing that when you're in line at a Starbucks, right? But the irony there being that because you're in an environment where you're more likely to do that, as in the club or the bar, etc., you're more likely to be scrutinized and rejected as opposed to doing it in an environment where you're not supposed to be doing that. So the barrier to entry in the environment where you're not supposed to be doing that is higher, but the balls it takes to do it there almost significantly increases your chances of success there. As opposed to doing the easy thing and going into a bar or a club to go talk to a woman, and she knows you're doing the easy thing, so she's going to be a lot harsher with her rejection for you, right? So yeah, if you want to keep doing the night game thing, you can. Just make sure you're the least needy guy in the club or the bar. That's really why a lot of guys fail in those type of environments, is that they show up with the energy of, I came here to get bitches, right? They come with that kind of energy. And you want to come in with a different kind of energy. The energy that says, I didn't really come here for anything than to have fun. And if I happen to run into a girl that is willing to have fun with me, that's cool. So be calm, be cool, be gentle. If you want more specific advice to wherever your level of game is right now, and you want something a little more detailed, I have an entire course about it. That's why I made that course. It's called The Interview. Link in bio if you want to go check it out. But for the most part, work on your energy. The way you approach these women has to be calm and playful. Not taking everything they do or say seriously. Not thinking too much in your head about the very next thing you're going to do. Just be calm, be playful, be gentle. Cool? Love your work. Thank you. How do you overcome feeling lower level than a girl despite her showing interest? If you're feeling lower level than a girl, it's because you're not thinking about the value you represent. I just made a video funny enough, I just made a video very recently about the kind of value you represent as a unique human being. There's 3 things about you that make you unique in the world. And I don't care who you are, what your background is, blah, blah. There are 3 things about you that literally no one else can replicate. That is your unique life experiences, your perspective, right? The unique way in which you see those experiences, and your ability to articulate those experiences to other people. As in your own unique way of making other people understand those experiences in the way you understand them. right? So when you look at things like that, you realize you are a unique one-on-one experience. Any woman that runs into you and meets you, assuming she decides or you decide, things aren't going to work out between you and her, and she moves on to whatever thing else, she quite literally will never have another experience like you ever again. Quite literally will never have that again. So once you understand how unique the experience of you is, it's very hard for you not to walk around knowing that you add more value to the situation than the girl herself. Sure, she might have her own unique experience, but she might not be able to articulate it the way you would yours. She definitely won't be able to have the patience to perceive it in a way that's useful to you, so that you can understand her perspective and really appreciate it. She probably doesn't even have as much unique life experiences as you do, because most girls, unfortunately, especially the hot ones, are living life on like a very predictable roller coaster. So it's very easy to predict what their lives are, how they move through the world, and what their experiences form and shape them to become. Once you understand that you hold more value in that way, it's very hard for you to feel like you're the person of lesser value. And it really is. I can't even imagine myself being in that position mentally, So I was getting practical about the bedroom thing I told you about. Okay. And I found pinching one way to stay longer. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, you can experiment with those things if you want, pinching this, doing that, whatever, but I don't worry about staying longer. Here's the trick. Here's the truth. If you want to last longer in bed, just get to round 2, 3, and 4. That's the big secret. If you want to last longer, get more rounds out the way. Everyone busts in seconds in the first round. Minutes if you got more practice than others, but that first round is really just to be gotten out the way, right? Do that to establish frame, show power and energy, blah blah. But after that point, if you're worried about lasting long, just use round 2, 3, and 4 and whatever, right? That's how you should be doing it. So don't try your best to make everything work in the very first round. You're gonna shoot yourself in the foot. Okay. What books do you recommend to get knowledge on behavioral psychology? Oof, where do I start? I always start with evolutionary psychology in terms of like behavioral psychology, because all behavioral psychology is based on evolutionary psychology. And evolutionary psychology is psychology, right? That is what psychology is. Like, ultimately, everything that we do as human beings ties directly back to our need to fulfill the biological imperatives, which are survive and replicate. Everything we do comes down to those two things. We want to live longer. We want to live longer through our offspring. That's it. Understanding evolutionary psychology will help you understand why people do what they do and the weird decisions they make. Even though it might look weird to you, it becomes very clear what their priorities are, and as a result, why the decision making looks the way it does. So start with a book like Sperm Wars. It's always one of the best reads out there in terms of like evolutionary psychology. Sperm Wars by Robin Baker. You also probably want to read a book like The Basics of NLP. They also very extensively cover evolutionary psychology in the first 3 chapters. So it becomes very clear why people behave the way they do. It's very fun. And then if you want to, top it off with something a little more niche, you can go with Way of the Superior Man. I consider that book a behavioral psychology book as well, but it's kind of splits it into 2, which is masculine and feminine, right? And the book is called Way of the Superior Man, but really the book should be called The Duality of Life, Masculinity versus Femininity. That's really what it should be called. The book is a proper, extensive picking apart of the weird dance and duality between masculine and feminine energies in the world and how they manifest through men and women. It's perfect. So read those 3 books, go from there. All right. Let's see. Seen your video about 2 men doing the same thing but being different. I saw that as a psycho-positioning or psychological positioning. Sure. Whatever happened to RSD? RSD is still kicking strong. They went through a few changes in terms of their brand and mission, But they're still there. Shout out to RSD. Shout out to Owen Cook. Owen Cook is still the GOAT, honestly. He's dope, man. But how to keep the psychological positioning higher all the time. Your psychological positioning is not something you have to keep higher all the time. It's something that you are, right? The king is not worried about, like, the king is not constantly worrying every day that one day he's not going to be the king and he's going to start serving the court jester. The king never thinks about that. The king is just the king. Does that make sense? The king is just the king. I hope that analogy makes sense, because I'm sure someone will start thinking about different scenarios like, oh, what about people that try to overthrow him? Forget all that for now, just for the sake of understanding it. People on top that are already on top, that have established themselves as on top, don't worry about losing their position. And that's why they don't lose it. That's what I'm trying to communicate. It goes back to that thing I just said about the creepiest thing you can worry about is being creepy, or do is worrying about being creepy. Same thing. It's the people that are constantly worried about their psychological positioning that end up losing it every single time. Every time. Right? So if you just move through the world and assume you already have psychological positioning, then you have it. It's almost a faith-based thing. It's very interesting. It's in direct accordance with the law of expectations. You know, the fundamental law of the game. Remember the one we talked about before? The video I have on my channel and on my YouTube? Exactly. The fundamental law of expectations. Whatever you think is the reality of the world, she will think is the reality of the world. So as long as you assume psychological positioning over her, she will assume it as well. Now, granted, there will be resistance. That's also a law in itself. She will test you to see if you actually believe it. But as long as you truly, honestly believe it, then you will never really falter or fail, and all of a sudden now you've lost positioning. You'll be fine. All right? In what circumstances should you ignore a girl's messages? Many. I think the real question is, in what circumstances should you answer a girl's message? I feel like that would be a more narrow question to answer. There's so many situations where you can not answer a girl's message. There's more of those than the reasons to reply a girl, you know? So probably be more specific for me. I don't know. Can you give an example of an approach in a grocery store? What would you say? Please, I'm a noob. Oh, no problem, man. Again, this is why I made an entire course to break these things down. But just to be quick, I would literally walk up to a girl in the grocery store and just start making fun of whatever thing she's holding in her hand and checking out, or whatever item in her cart. I would literally do that. Like, this is how I've gotten even girls that I'm dating right now. I met them like that. So I would walk up and just look in their cart and just start making fun of whatever they got. What is that? Is that honey? Is that raw honey? Why would you have raw honey in your cart? What, you got a cold or something? What is this? I tease it. I make fun of it. They instantly, always, try to explain themselves and qualify themselves. And then that would be my chance to give them a little reward for their compliance. I'm always looking for creating that hook and bait type of situation with women whenever you talk to them. It should feel like you're giving them a chance to qualify themselves to you, right? And then you're rewarding them whenever they participate in the conversation with you. You give a little compliment, you say something nice about, you know, her or the way she responded to you. And then from there, you can ask for her name, and now you're in a conversation with the woman. After that point, it's just a matter of doing that same thing you did before, of saying something that forces her to qualify herself, her qualifying herself to you, you rewarding that, etc., until you get to the point where the thing she has to do to, like, qualify herself to you is to either give you her phone number or give you some other way to continue the conversation going into the future. Preferably the phone number, obviously. I think the phone number is by far the best way to go about doing that. And then even after taking the phone number, make sure you don't just take the phone number and be like, bye, and then leave. I always tell people, the most important part of the conversation whenever you meet a girl out in public is not when you take the phone number. It's what happens after that. Get into the habit of continuing to talk to the woman even after you've gotten the phone number, because it shows two things. One, massive confidence in your ability to keep a conversation going even after the so-called objective is met. But then two, which is kind of like a moot point for number one, which is that you're showing by your actions that the phone number was not the objective. You genuinely like this girl, you genuinely want to keep talking to her. The phone number just happens to be a medium through which you'll continue having a conversation after you leave each other's presence. Okay? Very important. Very, very, very important. So yeah, that's pretty much how it would go. Like, what you say, what you do, how you would do all these things, they're on that course, man. Like, I literally have like a bunch of openers to help you out with if you want to start out in that course. It's downloadable, you can memorize and blah blah. Go for it. Ryu, what's going on, man? I told this girl over DM, I feel like there was a man that broke you. You're a bit slow sometimes and you have a great heart. And she responded with, whoa, whoa, whoa. So what does that mean? And how should I respond? It doesn't mean anything until you give it meaning. Why don't you ask her what it means? Or honestly, I wouldn't even bother asking her what it means. Why don't you just double down on what you said and just say the same thing in a different way? Because what can you do with well? You know, it's really not a good response from her in terms of like, it doesn't give you an ability to say something after that. Also, she said, she had a great cat, but TikTok blurred that. Oh, okay, interesting. That doesn't even matter here. That's not the last thing that was said to you, was it? The last thing that was said was the well thing, right? Okay, if that's the case, literally just say yeah, and then say the same thing you said before in a different way. See what response you get from that. Because there's nothing you can reply to that right now. There's almost nothing you can reply to that. So do that. Hey, what's going on, Maxwell? How you doing? You ever think of cutting your dreads then looking good? Just asking. My bitches think I look good, man. It's okay. I'm not into guys anyway. But thanks for the compliment, though. I understand you need me to look a certain way for you to be attracted to me, but I don't swing that way. We talk about girls here, you know. So amazing when people talk about my appearance all the time. It's like, listen, man. When you're me and you have the kind of abundance I have, it makes, like, really put yourself in my shoes. Like, try to put yourself in my shoes. I shouldn't even doing this right now. I'm too lazy to do this, but I really want to try to help people. I have no business going out of my way to try to explain this, but I'm gonna try just to help people out. Put yourself in my shoes. All these women in your life love you deeply, right? Sometimes you see them join me on this live. And then someone in the comments is going to be like, oh, you don't look this certain way. And it's like, what do you think you can say to tell me or show me that my life is somehow incorrect? Like, come on. You know what I mean? Do you get it? Like, I hope someone's getting it. It's like, if anything, you should be aspiring to look just like me. Because maybe, who knows, that's my fucking big secret, you know? Like, just try it. They're projecting, bro. Don't even bother explaining LOL. Yeah, you're right. I really shouldn't. But I want to help these people, man. Because I feel like they're just lost. It's like, if you just think for like 2 seconds. It'll be like me being like, oh, who's the famous rich guy right now? Elon Musk? It'll be like me being like, Elon Musk. Oh. You ever think of getting this car instead of getting this car? You ever think of doing this thing with your money instead of that? It's like, come on, son. You're giving someone advice when you're not qualified to do that. Like, come on. Anyway, thank you for the answers. I'll work on seeing my own value. Do you take any supplements? Only thing I'm really on is creatine, to be honest. I do that mostly for, fighting and stuff. That's high performance stuff. Creatine. That's the only thing I take. I probably should start taking magnesium though, to be honest. I probably should start taking magnesium and vitamin D and fish oil. I should start doing that as well, to be honest. But right now, just creatine. What do you think of the book, The Manipulated Man? Never heard of it. What'd you call it? The Manipulated Man. Interesting. I am intrigued there. The Manipulated Man. Alright, I'm gonna check it out. Let me see what's up with it. Buddy, you okay? My boy, you good? I'll check it out. How should I approach to make her stay till the end? What? Till the end of what, first of all? The end of time or the end of the first conversation? That's one. Two, it's not how you approach it you got to be worried about. It's, again, your mindset. Making her stay should never be the priority in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't matter. Again, it's the guys that worry about how long she stays that end up getting left. That's the way the world works. San Andreas, you have to learn to practice some detachment. Those aren't the kind of results you should be worried about. The only results in the game you really should care a lot about at all are the results that have something to do with you and how well you handle the different tests that come in your way from the game. How well you handle the resistance, the tension, the shit test, shit like that. That's what you should be worried about. How many times you're willing to go through a certain kind or type of fire. Not, I want to make her stay. Again, it's a very different mindset. And this is why that's why the divorce rate is so high. This is why everyone gets broken up with and cheated on, because they're worried about these things. The men who don't experience those things don't worry about them at all. That's why they don't experience these things. Does that make sense? Apparently written by a woman in 1967, exposing how women of old set traps in society to feminize men. Ooh, now we're talking. I fuck with that. I'm gonna read the shit out of that later. I gotta finish reading this book I'm on right now called The Law of Compensation by Ralph Waldo Emerson. So when I'm done with that, it's quite a wordy book. I like it. When I'm done with that, then I'm gonna check out The Manipulated Man. Related to the questions, how to last longer. I got a girl who don't like me lasting longer. Oh, that kind of lasts longer. That's fair. If you're lasting longer, that's not a bad thing. And she doesn't like the fact that you're lasting longer. It's not because she hates the fact that you're lasting longer. It's because she hates what it represents in her mind. The reason why some men some women, in the bedroom, wouldn't like it when the guy they're with is lasting longer is because they take it as a personal insult that, Esther Villar, I think is how you pronounce her name. They take it as a personal insult that they're not attractive enough or desirable enough, and that's why the man isn't busting it in seconds, right? Like, busting it in seconds is a compliment to the women. They know this, by the way. They'll be the first to tell you. So when you last too long, in their mind, it signals that you don't find them too attractive. It talks about men as slaves used for women's validation. Think of it like provider men. So basically what the fuck I keep talking about, right? I already love this book. I haven't even read it yet. I already love it. Interesting. Okay. I'm definitely reading this book. Is there like an audiobook version? Y'all know me, I'm an audiobook kind of guy. Let's see. How's your dog though? Oh, he's fine. He's got the case of the sneezes. He's been sneezing. He's a good boy though. He's a good boy. He's great. Other than that, he was ill for a while there. That's cleared now. We got some drugs from the vet. I like to say drugs dramatically. We got some drugs from the vet. He's done with that now. And he's recovering, but he has like this cold from it that he's still like recovering from. But he's good. Oh yeah, I got a dog now, Ross. What, you were here during our naming ceremony? We had a whole naming ceremony. We had a whole vote to decide what the name of the dog is. His name is Zorro, because he's all black, because he's a nigga. There he is. Okay. Oh, my bad. This is him. Can y'all see him? Zorro, he's kind of chilling right now. He's just sleeping. Just, he's a little tired. Went on a bit of a walk before. But, yeah. Yeah, I looked up the audiobook, but there's no clear one, to be honest. But it's a relatively short read. Okay, fair enough. I'll check it out. It might not even be a whole book. It might really be like an article that was stretched out into a book. You know how those work sometimes. Can you talk about the book again? I didn't get them. What book? Which ones? The ones I just talked about? Sperm Wars by Robin Baker. Way of the Superior Man by David Data. And then Basics of NLP. Those three. Isn't that the law of assumption? Damn, what you sipping on? Sparkling water. That's what I'm sipping on. Sparkling water. And I don't fuck with alcohol like that. Let's see. What's going on? Re-Up Productions, how you doing? What's going on, Kay? How you doing, man? First, Sammy says he's first. I believe him. What's good, Nevitz? How you doing, man? Philip is back. That's good. TikTok Zion, what's up? When did I get a dog? Like literally about a week, 2 weeks ago, I think. I thought of Zoro from One Piece. Not that Zoro. I haven't watched One Piece yet, so I don't even know what that Zoro is like. I'm talking about the OG Zoro, like the Spanish Zoro, like the motherfucker that wears all black, a mask over his eyes, and uses his fencing sword to strike a Z on his crime scenes wherever he steals from the rich and gives it to the poor. Those of you that don't know him, please go Google it. Zorro is an old folklore, actually, that got turned into a TV show and movie. That was, I think, Antonio Banderas is the one that stars in the Zorro movie back in the day, like in the 90s. And, he's a very cool hero. He rides an all-black horse. And he apparently was a Spanish revolutionist in the time of French colonization. Oh, sorry, not a Spanish, a Mexican revolutionist in the time of Spanish colonization under the rule of the French. And yeah, he would just go around, he would steal from these rich aristocrats, take all their money, give it to the poor, and then just leave a Z on their clothes because Z for Zorro. It's very fun. But yeah, I saw this all black dog and I'm like, his name is Zorro, obviously. Alright, he's blacker than me. How do I build back my reputation while in school after a breakup? Your reputation is the last thing you should be focused on. Don't worry about that. Unless you made like a catastrophic mistake, your reputation is not as in danger as you think it is. A lot of men like to over-exaggerate in their minds the blow to their reputation that a breakup does. As far as most people are concerned, you just aren't with that girl anymore. That's it. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean you're lower value anymore, or at least not that much more lower value anyway. But for the most part, you're fine, dude. If you really want to build your reputation up at all, just get another girl. Pre-selection always helps. I tried to escalate sexually off of rejection. It was a warm approach situation and I messed up. I know you did, because you never sexually escalate off a rejection. That's stupid. You're chasing. That is the very definition of chasing. Someone gave you a clear indication of disinterest, right? Rejection. And instead of just pass it like a shit test, right? Deal with the actual rejection first or back off completely. You decided you wanted to escalate things. Hey, I want to try even harder. That doesn't work with women. Nah, it doesn't. You just end up looking creepy. Right? So, no, of course you failed. Law of compensation is a real thing, same as attachment. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Two hairstyles are competing. What are we talking about? I don't know if we're talking about hairstyles recently. Because I felt I had a time constraint. Okay, so you felt you had a time constraint and it forced you to make a very obvious mistake. That tells me you have issues with tension. Right? Because that's all time constraints do, is they increase the sense of urgency in you, which is a form of tension. So if the urgency goes up and all of a sudden you're making fundamentally bad decisions, that means your relationship with tension has to be better. It just has to be. You feel me? Yeah, if he is not coming, it means we are not that beautiful. Huh? What are we talking about right now? Oh, okay. Okay. So that's a chick then, right? And if he is not coming, we're not that beautiful. I have no. When did I talk about that? What is? Are you? Is this like one of those weird things where a different comment or a different life shows up in mine somehow? Oh, was it when I was talking about how women treat guys that come too quick? Is that what we're talking about? That's not what I said. I mean, it's amazing how that's what you heard, but that is not what I said. I said women sometimes take offense to it when men don't arrive, don't climax with them because it makes them feel insulted, which, by the way, is not really something you can argue with, even though you think, oh, I'm a woman. You've never fucked one. I have. Several. So, in my experience, women do worry if you go in either extreme. Come too fast, don't come at all, or come too late. Either way, they'll find a way to complain about that. If you're not hitting that sweet spot, that's just life. Let's see. I didn't say you said that. I'm saying that's what I think. Sure. Interesting. How do I deal with a girl who needs my validation in order to be comfortable in the relationship? All girls need your validation to be comfortable in the relationship. Duh. All of them. How do you deal with that? Learn the balance between making her work for your validation and giving her reassurance. That's it. You got to work on that balance. It'll be something you have to do with practice, right? I can coach you on it one-on-one, but for the most part, it's something that you have to learn on your own in the field. Getting good at it. Does that make sense? Oh, thanks, Mr. Kins. How you doing, by the way? Welcome. Low validation is why she's there. I'm confused. Exactly. That's the whole reason women even date you to begin with. That's the whole reason they go on dates with you. They get naked with you. Validation. They're looking to be validated, and they see you as a source of validation. If you're not good at making them feel validated and in the correct way where they feel like they have to work for it first, then there's really no point of them being around you. They're validation motivated primarily. Let's see. I'm dating a guy and he's lasting long, which is great, but also worries my performance. He's lasting long and makes you insecure in your performance. Is that what you're saying? That's fair. Nothing you can do about that. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. I keep telling women, like, their game is to try to use a bit of operant conditioning to, steer the man in the direction they want him to go. Because you can't tell a man what to do. That's a fundamental mistake most women make, especially in the modern era of things, right? Women think they can just tell men what to do. It's never going to work. Most men would feel disrespected and insulted. What you got to do is focus on giving him praise in the direction that you want to give him. You want him to go in. That's the way you do it. She rejected me the first time and I went back. The original plan was to tease and qualify. Why didn't you stick to that plan? That was a good plan. That was a decent enough plan. Why didn't you stick to that plan? God damn it, these bikers. Fucking hate them, bro. Do you buy paperback or use a Kindle? And what do you use for the audio? I want to get into reading. Audible.com is my audio, library of choice. I do get any book available to me. I get. I don't really care what the paperback or the leatherback is. I don't it's the most important part of the book is the words in it. Right? Not even the paper it's written on or the ink that was used to write it. It's the actual words themselves. However those words happen to come to me, I don't give a shit. Like, you could write a book on a roll of toilet paper and I will unroll that bitch and read it that way. I don't care. It's the words that matter the most. And the specific order in which they are presented to me so that they give specific meaning. What I do like to do whenever I have the time to do it is I will read a book, physical copy, whatever kind, and I will pair that with listening to the audio at the same time. So what you do there is you're reading the book and you're listening to the same book at the same time, the exact same words. You're essentially giving yourself two forms of anchors or two channels for learning the exact same thing, which makes it twice as easy for you to remember it. It internalizes itself in your subconscious even quicker, basically, right? You're having an auditory and a visual anchor at the same time. If you read Braille and you feel it, not necessarily kinesthetic anchor at the same time. Not that you'd probably have the same processing speeds for hearing and listening at the same time, but I digress. The point is, it's just a really fun and cool trick to use to help you read a book twice, one time. It's great. Keep that in mind. Another thing of the book says that women only do things to make other women jealous, and they don't care about men's looks at all. They just use them as a social status figure or tools for money. Interesting perspective. Very interesting perspective. So they do things to make other women jealous. Very true. I can very much agree with that. I keep telling people, a lot of men, specifically men that are boyfriends and husbands, are really just accessories and tools for these women that they're with to gain validation from other women. I keep telling people, women are validation driven. What makes you important to them is how much of, the degree and quality of the validation you represent to them, right? How much of a quality source of validation you are. That's what makes you important or not important to them, right? So, yes, other women in a woman's mind are a good source of validation for them, especially when it's like validation that they force from other women, rubbing things in their face, doing things to, in their mind, outcompete other women. The shoes, the nails, the hair, right? They find ways to oppress each other in this way, and that's very true. Now, as for the using looks as a way to control men and create some kind of essentially a fake dominance hierarchy to be able to use that to extract resources from men, I can see that play out, but I don't think that would be the primary. No, I don't think that would be the primary use of looks. If anything, I would believe more the evolutionary psychology explanation for it, which is just genetics, really. Good genetic markers being indication of superior genetics, not superior. That's a weird word to use. Of genetics that indicate the ability to survive, survivability genetics. You feel me? It also says female validation is over male validation. It says that they are the reason for female beauty, not men. Okay, now that I disagree. Okay, I'll put it like this. Female validation over most male validation. But then there's a small percentage of men whose validation matter more than the females. And you can always, look at life. Look at life in general. I would say the majority of women care more about what other women say than what any man says, or most men say. But then there's a small minority of women who have strong protector type men in their lives, men that they actually do see as having high levels of survivability, that they will listen to and chase the validation of over their own female counterparts, right? It's funny enough, I was talking to this to one of my girls about this, which is like, the one girl in the friend group that says, sorry, I can't hang out today, I gotta go be with my boyfriend. And my girl's like complaining, like, I've become that girl over the years with you. Perfect. Like, that's what I'm talking about. You will see examples of women choosing the validation of that man over anything or anyone else. Happens all the time. So yeah, I completely disagree with that. I was thinking the same thing. Protectors, women, providers. Yes, it would be protectors, women, providers. In fact, it'll be protectors, women / environment, then providers, right? Because what we call the environment or society is just really other people, right? So lump that in there with other women. That'll be a good way to look at it. Thoughts on Zoro from One Piece? Haven't seen One Piece, so I don't know. Sorry. If anything, the only things I know about Zoro is I've seen memes of him being racist, apparently. So, he's the guy that uses a bunch of swords, right, with green hair. Are you Congolese? No, close though. I'm Nigerian. I can wind waist like a Congolese though, so same difference really. Same. We all brothers. What you sipping on? That good ass sparkling water, baby. What's some good phone call game to employ, my bad, to get her to me yard? You want every phone call you have with a woman to almost sound and feel like a vetting process. You want her to know on some level that you're going out of your way to figure out who she is, and to feel out the answers to the questions she's giving to you. You want them to feel like, oh man, this guy actually cares about who he meets in person. Does that make sense? So anything you say that indicates that you give a fuck about the answer she gives, and you actually, follow up with questions about whatever answer she gives, that's a good thing. And then that gives you the license to not only give her heartfelt compliments that you actually mean, but it makes her feel like she's worked for the opportunity to actually meet you in person. That's how it should go. Let's see. It also says that they don't use their intellectual ability past the age of 12. Oh, that's harsh to say. And the fact that it's another woman saying it is wild. Would I say that's true? I would say that would be true from the majority of women. I would say so. No, that's unfair. I'll put it like this. This is how I would put it. I would say women shut down completely. A few types and categories of intelligence in their brain after the age of like 14, 15, 16. For sure. Like they completely shut it down. There's other types of intelligence they continue to use and develop. For sure. Right? Like the social intelligence and awareness. Even that is not like the entirety of social awareness, like a certain aspect of it. They're very cognizant about status, social status, and where their status lies. They're very cognizant, about the status of the people they associate with, so that it doesn't rub off on them if it's bad or low. They're very cognizant about, stuff like body language and intentions, or at least what they think is intentions, right? They're good at those aspects, but like actual survival instincts, completely suck at it. It's very weird, isn't that? Like women are very good at telling when a guy is the group leader, so to speak, in a friend group, but they can't tell when their life is in fucking danger. It's very interesting. But yeah, that's how I would describe it. I wouldn't say they stop being intelligent or stop using their intelligence. I like saying using their intelligence because intelligence is a tool. But I would say that they definitely shut down certain aspects of their intelligence completely, and then continue to develop other aspects, like a few aspects going forward. It talks about education specifically, and if they go to uni, it's only to get certain men to see them. Yeah, pretty much. I've always told people that's the only reason women go to university, right? It's not about, they'll say it's about career furtherance and getting a high-paying job and all that stuff. That's really secondary. The primary goal of university, if a woman is being honest with herself, and especially like the ones who can actually get the attention of men consistently, right? If she's like below a certain level of attractiveness, then yeah, getting a career is probably priority for her. Like obviously, it has to be. She doesn't have a chance at outcompeting other women for attention from the kind of men she wants. But yeah, if she's even moderately attractive and she can get the attention of decent men at the very least, then hi buddy, my boy's finally up. Say hi to TikTok, buddy. You okay? Say hi to TikTok. He doesn't want to say hi to y'all. He don't fuck with y'all like that. See, you're gone. Thanks for chilling down there, buddy. But yeah, if she's attractive, yes, her primary goal is to. Well, even that right there is an example of the kind of intelligence that women choose to shut down. Long-term decision-making and foresight, right? A lot of women go into university with a very short-sighted type of myopic kind of view. So they go in there thinking to themselves, I'm going to have a certain kind of experience for the next 4 years, and I'm going to overindulge in that experience for the next 4 years. As opposed to thinking about it like, I want to meet this certain type of man and then establish an unbreakable connection with him in whatever shape or form that may look like, and then hopefully be able to continue something that gives me long-term security outside of the university from that point. But that's not how most of them are thinking. Most of them are thinking, this is the most inconsequential 4 years of my life, and they're moving accordingly. Especially with most of them, how very conveniently the 4 years of university lines up perfectly with their prime years of sexual agency, right? So when is a woman usually in university? From 18, 19 to like 22, 23, 24 if they're done, right? Perfect. Prime years of sexual agency right there, right? So yeah, it all lines up to be essentially the winter wonderland of sexual prime for them. Shout out to them. There's also the issue that the men she wants doesn't really care about her career, or true. I mean, we have no evolutionary benefit of a woman that has the ability to garner resources. It just doesn't matter. Women want it to matter. Poor things, right? They want us to care about. But I have this career and I can, give a shit. Because at the end of the day, it's our ability to create something out of nothing that matters more. They're attracted to that. We're not attracted to that in them. And besides, if you have that yourself, why would you need that in someone else? I think I was telling a girl very recently too about this. It's like, but she's creative and ambitious and da-da-da. And I'm like, I'm all these things too. Why would I? You don't leave the house to go buy milk when you have a fridge full of milk. You know what I'm saying? You only go out of the house to buy something you don't have in the crib. That's the point. Why would I go and find a value or a characteristic or trait in a woman that I have an abundance of? It's a fucking waste of my time. The book says they do it for access to high value men, not intellectual pursuits. Women don't care. Type shit. I agree with that. Type shit. They like, literally. I feel like that book would be... it would piss off most women if they read it, just from the way it sounds. Because it exposes what their actual agendas are. What I've been trying to explain to you guys for years. Which apparently someone has already written a book about years ago, which is great. It goes to show you how amazing the game is once you actually understand it from an experience point of view. But it also shows you just how little or how much effort women put into not admitting how much men are the center of their plans. They'll never admit that part. Like how important male validation is. And not just male validation in general, but the validation of specific kinds of men, which is what I keep trying to teach you guys to become, right? This is why when I say stuff like, it's always your fault and take responsibility, blah, blah, I'm not just saying that because, I'm trying to covertly teach you guys to be simps, which if you know what I'm talking about, you can't be a simp if you take responsibility. But I'm trying to show you guys how to become the kind of man that women revolve their entire lives around. And I feel like that's an experience most men will never have, and it's unfortunate. It broke my heart when even I found out, because I figured it out, right? I did everything correctly, not just what they told me to do. Oh, do this, get on strong. No, I did everything that actually works in accordance to the laws of the universe and evolutionary psychology, what women actually respond to. And I very quickly found out I could get women to do things for me, with me, to me, etc., that they would never do for most other men. And then I also found out most men don't know what it's like to have that experience. Like if I tell you guys it's possible to get a woman to literally drop her entire life pursuits, job, fucking abandon her family for your sake, that probably sounds weird. Or like it doesn't make any sense. But this is my literal life. Do you get it? Like when you're that kind of man, that's the kind of power you command over them. They won't, but they believe men are only tools and unimportant once they've been used. Is that true? Yeah, pretty much. What do you think I keep trying to tell you guys when I talk about how attraction is just utility in a different form? What we call attraction is really just like we can have a biological explanation for it, the chemicals that are secreted, the hormones that are blasting through your veins, blah, blah. The way being attracted to someone makes you feel, or the way being attracted to a man makes a woman feel. We can talk about that on a biological level. But the evolutionary function of that is usefulness and utility. Everything that makes us attractive to women is really just things that on an evolutionary psychology level women use out of us. Our ability to provide, our ability to protect, right? Our ability to make them feel safe and emotionally stable and bring a helping, strong masculine hand into their lives. Our ability to create boundaries and structure and leadership, give them the leadership they desperately need. All these things are just to help her achieve that biological imperative, those two biological imperatives that I was telling you about before: survive and replicate. Live long, and then live long enough to do it to your children. Right? It's all utility, baby. We're all getting used. What I've come to find, and this is what I'm trying to tell you guys, is that being the most useful man, to put it that way, gives you the license to get the most use out of them in return. That's game. That's the point of this thing. How do you get them to do that? Have you had them drop their life for you? What's the process? That's exactly what I just talked about. That's the process. It's becoming the most, evolutionary speaking, useful man. That is what gives you the license to then make them give you any use you ask for out of them. It's all transactional in the end, right? You don't want to think about that and talk about that, but it's the truth. All relationships are transactional because all relationships start for a reason. No woman will ever be with a man just because. That's not real. It's not true. There's always a fucking reason. And that's the point. So, once you have all the reasons in the world, not all the reasons in the world, but once you have the most utility as a man, you now have the license to go, okay, I have all this utility. This is all the utility I require of you. Fucking give your life to me. And she will. She will. The book argues that women are emotionless in using men's value, not attracted or anything. I would slightly disagree with that, because if that were the case, then again, I wouldn't be able to get these women to abandon their lives for me if there weren't any emotions at all involved. They're very emotional, but the emotions only really truly kick in when the utility is high, and that's the point. There's a way women treat men that they see as useful, and there's a way women treat men that they see as not useful. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I should make it even more nuanced. There's men women see as useful in certain ways that they don't treat the same as men that are useful in another different kind of way. Because here's the thing: whether he's a provider or protector, women will get use out of both of them, one way or the other. The difference between a protector and a provider is that the provider represents to a woman the part of her hypergamous duality that is not as important, not as useful. Right? It's the 20% part, provider, provision. Not that the provision isn't important to women, it is. But it will never be, on a biological level, as important as a man that actually makes her feel safe psychologically, emotionally, physically, etc. And that's what the protector type represents. Is that he has the ability to make her feel, right, like she can get use out of him in a way that's more important and more significant biologically. That's why he's gonna get more use out of her. Ryu, do me a favor, repin that because it's about to go out. But yeah, that's the point. It's like the emotions kick in because the fear of losing that utility kicks in once the protector comes in, right? I think it says that in regard to provider men, not protector, it's a different rarity of value. You get me? Yeah, that's pretty much what I just explained. So perfect. Me and whoever this lady is, what's her name again? Esther Viller. Yeah, we're in sync, me and you, Esther. I hope she's still alive. She's probably not alive. She's probably long gone by now. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, yeah, it's all utility. The women are using all men. The difference is if you have the most utility in the best way, then you not have the license to use them back, right? That's the classic story of the guy who did everything right, did all the right things and was respectable and went to college and became a doctor, blah, blah, gets cheated on, right? His wife cheats on him with the fucking bum, the pool boy, with a six-pack. Because as much as men don't want to hear this or like to admit it, as far as biology is concerned, a six-pack is much, much, much higher value than a fat bank account. It just is. I'm sorry. It just is. Especially given, like, depending on the environment you're in, and I can go into like different, like the nuance of it, but for the most part, there's just certain things that trigger better than others. Nep, repin that for me, by the way. It's gonna disappear soon. But yeah, again, not to say that the six pack is the most important thing you should have, obviously. But just like as a way to explain these things, there's different factors and values you can represent as a man. Certain things are a lot higher than others in ways that you will never believe. Right? You know, okay, to give you an example, you know what's even better than a six pack and a fat bank account? Emotional calm. The ability to withstand tension without breaking under the pressure of it. That's even more valuable. Like, you can have a pot belly and be completely broke. If you represent a calm, easy way for her to release her tension on you without, you know, watching you break under the pressure, that's even way more important, because that indicates not just short-term value but long-term value at the same time. It makes her pussy wet, and it makes her see you as someone that she can actually trust to keep her offspring safe and protected, because you're calm under pressure. See? So I probably have to make a chart of it one day. It's like a fucking chart of the different values you can represent and where they would rank in like a tier system or something. Now, how do you go about being a useful man? What's the first thing to do today? Literally everything I keep telling you guys to do all the time. Go do some hard shit. Go and do difficult things. That is what makes you useful. That is it. All the traits of a useful man are completely encapsulated in all the hard things and resistance you don't want to go through. All right, I could go into nitty gritty, like do this, and this is why this worked this way, but it's unnecessary. Just go do enough hard shit. Do things that scare you. Go through a lot of tension. Go through resistance. Go through, isolation, backlash, all that good stuff. All the lessons you learn from that make you stronger, make you tougher, make you better, make you more suited to not just withstand the resistance of the environment you're in, but become something that conquers the environment. And those are the men that they want. They don't want the men that can survive the environment. They want the men that can thrive within it despite resistance. Those are the men that get to pretty much just, we fucking state our price and bitches just go for it. Because they have no choice. Who else are they going to replace us with? Oh, repin that for me, please. But like, once you become a man that can show not just survivability, as I call it, but thrivability, that's a different spectrum. That's a different level of man. Right? You're the correct of balance of everything in the correct proportions. It's a rare type of man. She didn't say that, law. That's just my opinion. So we're on the same wavelength. Forget her type shit. I'm still read the whole book though. Let's just see what's up with her. Let's see. The Z type shit. So then, why do women say they want like a bulky body with muscle? Because women are liars. Come on, Mexicans. I'm surprised you asked that question. You should know better by now. Women, and it's not because women want to maliciously lie. I don't think they're doing that maliciously. There's a lot of things women do maliciously. I don't think that's the one they're doing maliciously. I think they're doing it for two major reasons. One, they don't want to show how conceited they are. Right? Women don't want to admit how superficial they can be, even though they're just as superficial as men. Two, and this is even more important, if women give you the sauce on how to get them, they become your sitting ducks. They don't want that. They don't want to give you that power. They want to hide it from you. And so they'll tell you the wrong thing and have you chase waterfalls, as TLC put it, and waste your own time. Because then in their minds it keeps them safe. You gotta understand, relinquishing power to a man for a woman is an involuntary act that they have no control over. And it's very terrifying for them. Right? When I talk about these women in my life that have essentially given their lives to me, do you think they were happy doing that? No, it was terrifying. It's completely terrifying for them. They don't want to do that. They don't. It's not a feel-good thing. Attraction as a whole is not a feel-good process. It's not. It's very gut-wrenching for them. It's anxiety-filled. There's a lot of uncertainty involved. If they get very comfortable in unpredictability. It's exciting, right? They don't know what's going to happen next. Ooh. But also, they don't know what's going to happen next. You feel me? So, yeah. They want to throw you off the scent. Don't be surprised if they lie. I realize you should never go by what a woman says, only her actions. Exactly. Right? They don't want good men. They want powerful men who have the ability to be good sometimes. Right? They don't want kind men. They want evil men who can show them kindness. Right? They don't want a golden retriever. They'll tell you they want one. What they really want is a pit bull that they can belly rub. A pit bull that has chosen, for whatever reason, not to bite them. They don't care about the pit bull bites. In fact, they like it when the pit bull bites other people, especially on their behalf. Love that shit. But they want the pit bull to, when it comes close to them, licks their face. That's what they want. And that's a beautiful analogy, by the way. I always thought of those posts online of attractive men chosen by women as collective bait or fun. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Whenever you see those guys that women, it's like, that's one thing about women I don't like, to be honest. It's very disingenuous, I think. When they gather together and decide to make someone the person of the hour. That whole participation trophy energy. Let's give this person that we all know we're not gonna fuck the light right now. Let's make them feel good and make them feel like the most attractive thing ever. Pathetic. Because that's why a lot of young men are very confused. A lot of young men. I've had guys in my DMs, like young dudes slide in my DMs and be like, I see what you're saying and it kind of makes sense, but then I see women in your comments arguing and shit. Like, I'm confused. Does it work? I'm like, first of all, bless you, buddy. First of all, here's a bunch of videos of me with women throughout my life. Like, I know what the fuck I'm talking about, obviously. But second of all, understand the game you're playing and the creature we're dealing with. They have absolutely no incentive to tell you the truth. None. And the guys like me who see behind the curtain and have fun behind it, we can really just be like, is that why they love tattoos on men? Yes, that's one of the reasons. We can really just be like, oh yeah, we'll just be here, have this secret fun and not tell anyone else. We can do that. And honestly, that's what most men like me do. Like, do you get it? That's why game is rare. And the people who actually know what the fuck they're talking about is like very few of us. Because the majority of us have absolutely no incentive to tell the truth to most men. Because if anything, it just dwindles our numbers in a way, like, you know, taking away from the quality pool that we've gathered. But someone's got to say it. You guys think of me as a teacher. I'm really a whistleblower. I'm gonna tell you what's going on behind the truth. I'm gonna tell you what's going on behind the curtain. These women that are telling you they want good men, they respond to men like me. Complete, ruthless assholes who are selfish on a daily basis. That is what they respond to. That is what their biology responds to. That is what makes their vaginas get moist. Do with that information what you must. Women want to confuse. Is it to weaken us? It's part of the manipulation tactic to make us slaves. Yeah, indeed. Again, women want utility. They want utility. And as far as utility goes for them, it's really one of two types of guys. The guys they don't want, the guys they do want. What women haven't figured out yet, this is why their entire plan isn't going to work. This is why the majority of women out there are miserable. Women don't seem to understand themselves yet how validation motivated they are. One, that's the first thing. They don't get it. They don't really understand just they think they're being like introspective or having emotional intelligence or even being spiritual and intuitive. But really, it's just validation. They're validation driven. They don't get that about themselves yet. And because they don't get that about themselves, it creates a second problem, which is they think they can drag validation from a slave population of men and feel the same level of high. I talked about this as a think piece. What has it been, like almost a year ago at this point? It's a video that like flopped on my channel, obviously. I don't even know if anyone saw it. It was like fucking 500 views in the first week. But it's by far one of the most important think pieces I ever put out there. And it's a video where I was talking about women trying to replace men with sex robots, right? It was a big story at the time, but it was men talking about women sex robots and replacing women with sex robots, blah, blah. And they were talking about how women were trying to do their own thing, replace men with sex robots. And I went through a 7-minute video, which I guess at the time would have never worked for TikTok. I should just put it out on YouTube anyway. And I had to cut the video down to like even shorter than that because, you know, at the time TikTok wouldn't let me post anything longer than a certain amount. But basically I said the whole women's sex robot thing I'm not worried about. It won't work because unless they can find a way to give the robot intricate algorithmic programming where it makes women chase its validation hard, it's not going to work. A robot that is programmed to validate you will never feel as good as the validation of a man you have to work for. Straight up. Straight up. It's just not going to be the same. A big part of why women chase male validation of a certain kind of man is because of how many obstacles there are to getting that validation. That's why it feels good to finally get it. That's why it feels good for her to flex that she got that guy that isn't even really that physically attractive from that other girl, to be able to flex it in her face and go, yes, there's a validation of me winning him over you because I'm the better woman. Half of women's reality TV shows is based on that very simple concept. The Bachelor, Love Island, Perfect Match, Too Hot to Handle. It's all women competing with women for the validation of specific men. Repeat that for me. And they don't seem to understand that about themselves yet. If they did, they would realize how useless it is to try to create a slave population of men that just tries to validate them all the time. Because women don't want the validation from the slaves. They want it from the kings. But you can't control the kings. That's why they're kings. The moment you can control the king, he's not a king anymore. He's a slave. But then it doesn't feel good to get the validation from the slave. It's a fucking cycle of doom for them, bro. And they don't get that yet. They don't seem to understand it yet. Like, what makes it feel good to be validated by a man is the fact that it takes work. It takes effort. And he can say no whenever he wants. That's why it feels good when he says yes. And by the way, this exists for men too, on a lesser degree, of course, but it exists for men too. That's why I keep telling men, be grateful for the resistance. That's what makes it feel good when you finally get past it. Could you post that on YouTube? I'm invested in this kind of thing. Oh, absolutely, man. I gotta go find it. Actually, I'll just redo it. Fuck it, I'll just redo the video. That was back in the day when my shitty camera setup and whatnot. I can't be uploading that again, but I'll just redo it. It's a very interesting think piece that I did. I remember I recorded that video like 3 a.m. in the morning. I couldn't sleep that night. I gotta get this out, I told myself. I can't wait till tomorrow. So I did. I feel like women are lazy on their conquest for validation. Oh no, I disagree. They're very hardworking. As long as the validation is coming from that specific guy, the kings of the world, they're very hardworking. It's when they're trying to get it from the slaves that they become very lazy. Right? I always have to remind you of those two perspectives because I myself am a king, essentially. Not to brag or anything. I'm just saying the way women treat me is different from the way women treat most men. And because of that, I'm always very cognizant of the perspective that I live from. And I have to talk about that first. Like, trust me, women are very hardworking when it comes to validation. Again, women traveling to the ends of the earth, making crazy, ridiculous sacrifices, burning bridges with people that should be the most important people in their lives, all for my sake. Like, I've experienced all that. So, yes, very hardworking. Just to have me kiss him on the forehead and say, good girl. Very hardworking. I mean, their strategy for getting weak men and not focusing on the kings, that's lazy in my opinion. You're very correct. Very, very correct. Oh, man. Women want to put in as little effort to get the validation of slaves, of weak men, because for their time and effort, it doesn't really make sense to put in past a certain amount of effort for those kind of men, because the validation is just not going to be worth it in the back end. It's just not. You know, so they would rather just create a system that brings that validation to them. That's why Instagram is an amazing invention, right? Most social media is an amazing invention for women because it does just that. It's a platform for women to drag validation without trying hard from regular dudes. That's essentially what it is. So yeah, it's dope. Shout out to them. They're conniving. Teasing and assuming attraction is working great, but she is 5 years younger than me. I can't remember what we were talking about before, my bad. But teasing and assuming assumption works great. Oh, I remember you now. Make sure you're not doing that after you get rejected, though. Very important. You can do that before you start getting indications of disinterest. You feel me? Because they rely solely on beauty to manipulate men. In terms of like the intelligence, why they stop using intelligence? Yes, pretty much. I mean, again, even that, like, you can't say that they stop using intelligence completely, because being able to use beauty to manipulate men in itself does take some degree of intelligence. I'll give them the credit for that. I will. It does. Like, I've been around this creature and observed this creature long enough to know now, like, they're very fucking crafty. Even in the use of their beauty. Like, you can say, oh, the beauty is just, it's a cheap bait. It's easy for them. Like, yeah, it's a lot easier for them relatively than it is for men to use personality, obviously. But for the most part, there is still a skill to it. And there's a way the beauty has to be represented. Not represented, just presented. And there's a way the beauty has to be used so that it gets not just a man, but the right kind of man. And then in a way that it is used to outcompete the other women doing the same thing. Right? So they almost have to be marketing geniuses, almost, if you really think about it. Because, like, if Megan Fox and Megan Good wanted the same man, that'll be a very tight spot for the man in question. Assuming he couldn't just get both of them to be his girlfriends at the same time. Which I'm sure he could if he could get both of them bitches to be interested to begin with. But I digress. The point is, what would each woman, Megan Fox versus Megan Good, do to outcompete the other one? You can start seeing how intelligent they have to be to do that, right? Exactly. By intelligence, the author meant education, not manipulation. Oh, is that it? Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So they stopped using their education, their formal education, in place of relying solely on their beauty. Makes sense. I agree with that. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Let's see. And have no trouble replacing men and are emotionless because they see them as tools anyway. And only care about men when they threaten to leave. That's like a short introduction to the ideas of the book. I want to hear your thoughts on it. Is it true that women only want to make other women jealous and don't care about men at all? Again, we talked about the example of women choosing the validation of men over women, over other women. Even the women that they were, that in their lives were the source of validation. All right? So, yeah, that only exists for the majority of men, not that few specific kind of men. But yeah, I'm gonna read the book. I'm gonna talk about it. It sounds like a fun book to read. I can't wait. I'm already excited. I like that book. What's the best ways to use anchors? You pair them up with whatever other thing you're trying to do. I always tell you guys, kinesthetic anchors are very important. Like touching a woman when she's feeling a certain emotion in a certain way essentially anchors her to that emotion whenever you retouch her in that same way. But again, it has to be repeated. It can't be something you just do once. It's not going to be embedded in her subconscious if you just do once. So make sure you pair it correctly, and then do it over and over and over again. How can I change the frame before the first date? What is the frame right now? That's the question. Sorry, my bad. I realized it's one hairstyle when you turn around. What are we talking about? Oh, my hair? Oh, I see what you mean now. You thought it was a high top fade and dreads. Nah, I got my dreads tied up. That's all I got. I also have some questions on frame setting. I watched your video on it on YouTube, but I'm still unsure how to hold and set frame properly. Okay, go ahead. Ask me the question. Or is that the question? How to hold and set frame? That's a very broad question. You think about the frame as the underlying context of the conversation. An even simpler way to put it is whoever holds the power in the conversation. And holds the power is a short way of saying whoever cares the least, right? Whoever is willing to walk away the most. Whoever cares the least in general, by the way, in terms of like the results or the outcome of the conversation. That's what I mean when I say whoever cares the least. Cares the least, is willing to walk away the most, and is willing to offend the most. That is, I would say, the three things that make you having the power or holding the frame in any given conversation. Okay? So when you think about it from that point of view, start matching everything you say and do around a woman to those three specific things. Anything I'm doing around her or saying around her. Do I sound like I care more? Do I sound like I am willing to offend her more? Do I sound like I'm willing to walk away? Or do I sound like I'm trying to stay in the conversation? Do I sound like I care too much or more than she does? Right? That's why I always tell you guys, just as a habit, you should start talking to women in terms of like the now, not tomorrow, right? Start saying things for right now. It's something I talk about in digital pre-selection. For now, right now, so far. Learn to use those words at the end of your sentences. I like you so far. I think I'm having a good time with you right now. Whenever you say, give her compliments and then you anchor it to the present moment, it shows her that you're not sold on her into the future. Right? Which essentially cuts her need to drag validation from the future off completely. There's still work to be done, so to speak. Right? If you go, I like spending time with you, she's going to assume it into the future and think you're always going to enjoy spending time with her. But if you say, I like spending time with you so far, all of a sudden she realizes, oh, there's still room for me to fuck up, so I probably shouldn't. That's like frame setting 101, right? Bro, how do you not hate kids, man? I might have a problem. Whenever they start crying, I feel like slapping them. I love kids, man. Kids are dope. It's easy for me to like kids because I used to be one myself. I was a professional child at one point, believe it or not. Kids are great. Kids are awesome. Kids are progeny. Kids are an ability and an opportunity for you to complete your mission on Earth, assuming they agree to help you. They're human beings. They're just pre-human beings or pre-programmed human beings. Not pre-programmed as in they're programmed beforehand. They're the human beings that happen. They're the representation of what it looks like when the human being is getting programmed from scratch. Right? So I like kids. They're fun. They're a good reminder of how easy it is for us to all start again. It's pretty cool. Thanks, bro. That helps a lot. I've been confused on this for a minute. No problem, man. No problem. I should really make another frame video. Just to like clear the air of things that are like confusing for everyone, you know? Let's see. No, it was because of me. Don't know what that means. How would you program your kids? The same way you program women. It's the exact same system. It's operant conditioning. Reward and punish. More reward than punish, obviously, right? It's way better and easier to use positive reinforcement than negative reinforcement. But yeah, I think the kids part is the easy part, honestly, because you get to do it from scratch. The best part about raising kids is that you don't have to make them unlearn anything. because you are the one creating their very first learning experience. So it's not like an adult where you first have to make them unlearn things, then reprogram them. I don't have any need to undo old, outdated program. I just got to start a fresh one. It's easy, right? And you're doing it on a brain that is so spongy, is willing to absorb anything. All right, and kids believe, like Jesus Christ said in the Bible, believe like a child, right? Because kids believe anything. If you tell a child Santa is real, as far as that child is concerned, until otherwise proven wrong, Santa is fucking real, right? So imagine how many things you can program your child to believe from a very young age that they will go on for the rest of their lives to believe, because they just won't ever have contrary evidence to that belief you gave them. I can't wait that's the fun part. Getting kids is like getting to be God. Literally. You got this tiny little human that relies on you, right? Which is, I mean, obviously that feeds the ego. But a tiny human that has to see the world through your eyes because it's your perspective that they're learning it from. That's not funny to you? That's not cool? The crying, the pooping, all those things that come with it, a worthy price to pay. I really don't see the problem with any of that. It's like when we got this little boy. The joy he's brought us is far greater than all the other things he's come with, right? Like remembering the wall came, feed him. When we got him, he was skinny. Like I'm talking about African skinny. Don't worry, I can say that I'm African, and I've been African skinny. But he's got a little more meat on him now. He's looking healthy and shit. Ain't that right, my boy? But yeah, he had a lot of issues. He had a few health complications and whatnot. But I'd do it all over again, because I love this boy. I do. And if I can feel this way for a dog that will not live as long as any of my children, then how much more kids? Like, come on. Jace, you a cool dude, man. We think alike, and I fuck with that heavy. That's why I fuck with you, Ryu. I know we think alike. We're always on the same wavelength. That's what's up. I fuck with you too, man. But yeah, it's fun. I don't see why people like. It's such a weird thing to hate kids or not like kids because of what the parts of them that are like inconvenient. Oh, they cry sometimes. So what? A lot of people don't even treat their kids crying correctly, in my opinion. A kid crying should not be the end of the world. A kid doing something incorrect should not be surprising. Oh, it broke something. Yeah, it doesn't know any better. It's a child. It's still learning. Like, do you realize children at a young age are still pretty much figuring out the laws of physics, like the way the simulation works? So when you punish a kid for breaking that vase, you're doing something completely incorrect. You're supposed to allow that child to figure out, depending on the material something is made out of, it will break and shatter if it drops from a certain height. That's a learning experience for them. Not an opportunity for you to punish them and take your fucking anger out on them. That's weird. If there's one thing I'm grateful for, man, is that I really did grow up with the best parents. Were they the best in the world at everything? No. Was everything always great with my household growing up? No. Was it the conventional two-parent home? Not necessarily. But I really did have parents that understood the importance of imparting knowledge, wisdom, and experience into their child. And they made every sacrifice to make sure that I was in a position to learn from my mistakes. And I made enough of them. I'm grateful for that. And I will be giving that to my children, for sure. So that's dope. I just feel like that's fucking awesome. I also can't wait to have daughters. It's kind of funny. People in my industry are like, I can't have daughters after seeing what women do behind closed doors and how women are. I can't wait to have daughters because I can't wait to use them and live vicariously through them to like conduct experiments and shit. Like, all right, this is what you want to do, baby girl. You see this guy you're dating here? All right, do this, do this, do this. I know you already got this other guy right here that's still bothering you from the past. Do this, do this. I can't wait to do all that shit, bro. I can't wait. So I don't get when people are like, oh, kids. That's the fun part, dude. That's why you get to copy yourself. That's awesome. Let's see. When's the next upload for TikTok lives? Oh shit, I am behind on that, aren't I? My bad. I'm not. Don't worry, y'all going good. I got like a good 3 or 4 I got to put up plus this one, so like 5. So yeah. Monday are my usual YouTube upload days, so keep that in mind. That's tomorrow. At work right now, I got you, bro. Let's see. Not gonna lie, I need to start meeting women in real life. In the past couple of days, I have some days set up with girls I met online. Low-key would be double stack if a girl flakes, but my version of double stacking is stacking women weekly. Oh, okay, that's fair. Yeah, if you start meeting women in person, that would exponentially blow up your phone book, you know? At this point, I'm more focused on my paper than relationships. Interesting, sure. Do what you gotta do, brother. Me personally, I focus more on the paper when I have relationships. That's me, you know. Having women in my life for me is a motivator. I feel like most people are opposite. I feel like most people get into relationships and get comfortable and lazy. I'm not that way. I know too much about how relationships work for me to sit on my ass when I have women in my life. It's not gonna work that way. I got women in my life. They're watching my every move. All right, your every move is either gonna get them wetter or drier, and they're watching every single one very with precision, like fucking microscopic precision, bird's eye view. So if I present myself to be an ambitious man in the beginning of my relationship, fuck I look like becoming non-ambitious later. It's not gonna happen. Like, again, that's me personally. Me, if you look at me and my bank account, it's only gotten fatter the more girls I've gotten. That's me. But I think most men are the opposite. But I also think that's because most men don't understand women. Because if they got women and understand women, and they had women in their lives, it would be the greatest fucking motivator they ever had. At least in my experience, you know. Yeah, women are paranoid, so we interpret everything in our own ways, so just be you. Fair enough. He's really fit and I gained some weight, so the whole time that's what I'm thinking about. Ha 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 ha. I'm happy you admitted it though. I fuck with you, Trio Fliv. I don't like your name. It's hard to. I'm just call you Liv. Is it Liv? I'm gonna call you Liv. I fuck with you, Liv, because you're at least honest enough to admit that. You know, you can tell, and that's an important trait in women. I think a self-aware woman is a very beautiful thing to have. I got one in my life right now. It's so fucking dope. When a woman can self-correct and can catch herself entering her own pit of anxiety, because then that lightens my workload. That lightens my workload is what I meant to say. So yeah, shout out to you. Shout out to you for knowing that it's because you feel like a fat bitch that you're feeling insecure, and move accordingly. Shout out to you. As a 21-year-old who has lived for so long with a provider mindset, should I overcompensate by or be a bad boy? So you want to think about it like this. You have a provider mindset because you've been told to go the easy way out every single time in your life. For the next 1 year, I want you to make it your own personal decision to do the hard thing every time now. To say the honest truth when you know there's repercussions for it and it will hurt to do so. All right? To say the thing you actually feel and to do the thing you actually want to do. To push past the resistance and the backlash of doing the things you actually want to do. That's how you become a protector type. A bad boy, so to speak. That's why bad boys are bad boys. They do what the fuck they want without considering what other people might say first. We're still waiting on the video about your mentors. Your storytelling is great. Oh, thank you. And yes, I will be putting that. Hold on. Did I ever fucking actually record it yet? I gotta check. I feel like I might have dreamt about it, but I didn't actually do it. I swear, the other realm and this realm get mixed up for me all the time. It's weird. It's also female validation over male validation. Oh yeah, I read that one. No, LOL. I had my dates from everyone, so only herself is getting validation. Men do the same. They date women they don't like to impress their friends. Interesting. The majority of men do that, I would say. You're very correct. I think the kind of man you want is the man that dates women that he likes. The women that impress him. Does that make sense? That's one. Two, you just admitted by your own words that you do everything because men exist. Your existence is predicated on men. That's why you're copying them. I don't know if you caught yourself doing that, but you know. I had my dates from everyone. And also, by the way, that's an interesting strategy women use. And that's what I keep telling you guys about women. When they actually like a guy, they're not quick to let everyone know who he is. They do what they call the soft launch, right? The kind of man that women like and respond to and are attracted to are not men that usually their friends would approve of, because that is a disagreeable man. It is a strong man with his own mind and rhythm that moves through life the way he wants. A man that isn't hell-bent on forging a fake personality that appeals to women. And women care about appealing to women, right? So if they have to appease both sides, the friends that give them their goofy feminist rhetoric and the man that they actually attracted to that is anti-feminist, well, they have to keep things separate. See? Every single girl I got right now hit me for like the first fucking few months. One was up to a year, right? That's how it works. And again, not to say that you should take that personally. Again, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a great thing. You should take that as a compliment. But yeah, that's what happens. When they really like you, they hide you. They hide you. The most you're getting is like an arm while you're driving on like a social media post on Snapchat or something, or like a story on Instagram. That's it. That's all you're getting. When they really like you. It's when they don't like you and you fit the mold of the bitch boyfriend that they can control and that their friends would approve of. That's when they post you everywhere. Your boyfriend material. See, that's why boyfriend material is not a good compliment. It's just not. You know? Like in chat, you find men of value my input more when they didn't realize I'm a woman. But you notice how I caught you when you talked, though. I knew you were a woman immediately. I was like, you're a woman. Ha ha. Ha ha. Do you think it's worth getting in a fight in school to avoid bullying but getting suspended? Oh, hell yeah. Definitely worth it. Oh, so worth it. It's even more worth it when you get suspended afterwards. Because now everyone knows not to fuck with you. You're the guy that'll fuck someone up, even at the risk of getting suspended. Do it. You have my permission. Do it. Fuck them up. Honestly, you don't even have to fuck them up. You can lose badly. But just letting the person that's bullying you know that you will fight back, that is a massive discouragement. And then keep talking shit afterwards. Like, as they're dragging you away after they separated the fight and you whooped your ass, be like, this isn't over. When I'm done with my suspension, I'm coming back for that ass. I'm coming back! Talk shit. Blood spilling out your mouth, run down your nose. I'm coming back! Round 2, bitch! Just keep talking shit. Keep talking shit. Girl posts me, but their friends hate me and get jealous, so how does that work? Yeah, same difference. I mean, for your age, the girls in question are still very young. So they haven't learned the lesson of not bringing the bad boy in front of their friends. You're probably the first guy she's done that with. And now she'll learn, okay, this is why I shouldn't introduce that bad boy I'm dating in front of my friends. You know what I mean? But yeah, back to the bullying thing. Absolutely. Like, fucking fire them even if you lose. Just now he knows he can't bully you for free. Bullies are bullies because they're weak, right? So they want the easy target. They want the easy target. That's why they're bullies. All you got to do is demonstrate through your words and actions, specifically actions in this case, that you're not an easy target. That's it. I keep telling people, you don't have to win. You can get your ass whooped. I'm telling you. Listen, I'm telling you from experience, you can get your ass whooped. You will still gain your respect because you fought back. It's very important. You fought back and you talk shit afterwards, like you didn't just get your ass beat. Spin the block after being suspended. Exactly. Now, there we go. That's the mindset. Spin the block after getting suspended. Talk shit. Tell him you know where he lives. Make him live in anxiety for the next 2 weeks of your suspension. Make him fucking shit bricks, man. I know where you fucking live, bitch. I'm gonna bring my big brother. We're gonna fuck you up, bitch. Say that. Right? Like, let him know. I'm not the one to play with. What's good? I already read that one. It's also a way to get us to get comfortable over the phone. Sure. Yeah, I like men that worship. Come on, Liv. You gotta. Come on. Come on. Spelling, grammar. Like men that worship me, but not too much. He has to worship himself too. What you're really saying is you want men that can't be arsed about you, but show you some bits of care here and there. That's what you really mean. Because a man that's worshiping you doesn't have the time of day to worship himself. And a man that's worshiping himself does not have the time of day to worship you. You want a man that is powerful, that does see himself as powerful and conduct himself accordingly. But then from time to time, shows you some mercy, shows you some kindness. That's what you want. Alright? How good is your martial arts? Don't ask me. I have a giant ego, so I'll tell you it's the best on the planet, right? But if I had to be realistic about it, if I had to really be realistic about it, I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I have to see how good I really am. Even in like actual fights, I do still feel like I've been holding back. I need an opportunity to really go all out. I want to see. I want to see, like balls to the wall. I want to see how good I am when I don't feel like I have to pull my punches. All right, and that's been the theme in my life a lot. All right, it's just pulling back my punches because I'm scared to hurt other people sometimes, even though I enjoy doing it from a systematic point of view. So, we'll see. Soon enough, we'll see. Let's see. It's talked about education specifically, and if they go to uni, it's only to get certain men. See them exactly. Bro looks like a soldier, cool dog for real. Yeah, you heard that, boy? He's looking up at me like. There's also the issue that the men she wants doesn't really care about her or career status. Yeah. A divine sword Escanor is crazy. Women know when there is danger. They just ignore it to indulge in the danger then regret. I disagree. Women know when there's danger depending on the context. I'm talking about actual survival instincts. Like, I've seen too many. Well, to be fair, those are women that have been around me, and when women are around me, they feel like they can just shut off their brain. So I get it to some degree. It's like, all right, she feels like I can just take complete responsibility for her safety here and just be a fucking dumb 12-year-old. Why worry about everything? Whatever. It's my job. I can handle that. But at the same time, though, it is baffling to see just how much they allow themselves to devolve into that 12-year-old self, you know? Let's see. I do. It's an illness. I want more milk toys. That's funny. A good way to piggyback off the analogy, though, the milk in the fridge analogy. Jace, good shit. Just started the Red Book and finished a solid portion of the Bible. Hell yeah. I'm happy to hear that, man. Well done. Well done. Shout out to the Red Book, too. FYP scroll bugging. I have no idea what that means. They won't, but they believe men are only tools and unimportant ones. They even use that. I already read that one. Been upping my cold approach. Ulta Beauty. I'm telling you, the hoes are at Ulta Beauty or any other beauty supply outlet store. I'm telling you, go to your Kohl's, go to your Targets, right? Target, for those of you that aren't bougie. Go to your TJ Maxx. Go to your thrift stores. That's where all them artistic bitches be at. Go to your whatever thrift store you like, wherever a bitch can go get some thrift wear, so to speak. That's where the artistic bitches be at. Oh, not autistic, artistic, right? I mean, autistic too, but you didn't hear that from me. But yeah, the Ulta Beauty is the shit, baby. That's where they be at. Go Bed Bath & Beyond. Come on now. Starbucks on a busy afternoon. Chipotle after the gym. Also, you got to be intelligent about this. Make sure it's a Chipotle's or Panda Expresses next to, like, it's usually going to be around a Planet Fitness. They do that on purpose, by the way. Chipotle, Panda Express, Fusa Bowl. There's a few restaurants that make sure they plant their branches next to gyms, because they know that that's where the gym goers are going to go get their post-workout meals, right? So literally just find, like, go on your Google Maps, your Apple Maps, whatever the fuck you use, figure out the logistics of these things, and then go there on Saturdays, because that's when bitches are free. Ha ha ha. Do with that information what you must. Besides your products, what other good social dynamic products? Go check out Blueprint Reloaded and Blueprint Decoded by Owen Cook. I'll shout him out here. Shout out to Owen Cook. It's still one of the best things out there in general. Go get Blueprint Decoded and Reloaded from Owen Cook. Go get pretty much anything by Arash is good, honestly. Especially if you're more interested in the spiritual aspect of game, because that's where Arash really specializes in. So go meet him for any of that stuff. And then obviously I gotta shout out Lucario. I still think one of the funniest pieces of material I've ever read is he has a book he wrote for women called It's Your Fault, right? It's a very interesting book where he pretty much tells women, this is why you don't get men. One of the best pieces of literature out there, the funniest things ever. It's funny. I call it funny, not because he meant to be comedic in it, but because you could just tell when he was writing the book, he was just like, these fucking bitches. Not to say the book was misogynistic. It's actually very helpful for women. But you can tell, like, that's a book that a man isn't supposed to write in this society. But he had the balls to write it. I'll fuck with that. Let's see. I care more about women validation, because if all men are validating me but not women, it's fake. You're lying. Even you don't believe that bullshit, because deep down you know you can't trust all women's validation, because women lie to each other all the time. You know that. Come on, you know better than that. Let's see. Is utility then men's value? Yes. Or a better way to put it is utility equals value. So everything that makes us useful is what makes us valuable to women. Everything that makes us useful is what makes us attractive to women. Does that make sense? So what are you trying to say? We should be bums? No, I'm saying you should understand what utility is. You know, I'm saying, you know how dumb you gotta be to come to that conclusion. I'm saying, for the dumb people in the back, like KC Comics, Jesus Christ. What I'm saying is, understand the hierarchy of value as far as evolutionary psychology goes. A lot of the things that we've been told makes us attractive to women in society is wrong, flat out wrong. That is not what women respond to on an evolutionary level. It's just not. Okay? That's what I mean. Focus on the things that matter, both short and long term. Present the short term first, give her long term in the back end. KC Comics, pick up a book, please. Please do, honestly. Jesus Christ. Fuck. KC Comics, you're not listening, mate. I know. King said, KC Comics, lock him, bro. I'm happy about this. Like, I roasted him, but then it turns out all y'all did too. Perfect. I don't feel as guilty anymore. Good. Pile on him. Like, Jesus Christ. How did you hear that? of everything I said. Fuck me, bro. Dumb people just make everything slower. We have to be a certain degree of intelligence to even understand the game. And it's not a high degree. Like, you don't have to be a fucking super genius to understand the game. Like, come on. Like, 3rd grade reading level, and you can get this shit. Like, the basic level comprehension skills. Fuck. Anyway. Let's see. What's the most important trigger or value? Risk-taking. Risk-taking ability. The balls to take risks. That would be, in my opinion, the most important. Some people would have different arguments, for sure. But I do think it's risk-taking. Because risk-taking essentially bleeds into all the other triggers that exist. Any other value or trigger for attractiveness in a man really comes down to risk-taking ability. Being a leader of men, risk-taking. Protector of your loved ones, risk-taking. Believer in something greater than yourself, risk-taking. Successful risk-taker, risk-taking. I mean, obviously. So gambling, that's funny. You know the funny thing? Gamblers get a lot of pussy. So yes, I guess. I shouldn't say that recklessly. I'm not going to advise you guys to go and gamble. I don't really believe in gambling. I believe in calculated risks, but not straight up just fuck everything, put everything on black, right? Be careful with your gambling. But yes, if you must know, gamblers get a lot of pussy. That thing you see in movie scenes where a guy comes in with no bitches and then he starts going crazy on the roulette table and then he walks away with 2 bitches, that's a real thing. That's a very real thing. That's very real. All right, go to your nearest casino, you'll see it happen. Maybe once a month, but you'll see it. Can you improve your intelligence to the point where you can reach genius and it be self-taught? Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can. It'll require a lot of pain, though. A lot of sacrifices you got to make. A lot of time and effort, and very conscious, deliberate practice in training different aspects of your intelligence. But it definitely can be done. Intelligence is a skill, guys. The ceiling is higher or lower depending on your genetics, for sure. But yeah, absolutely. Everyone does have the opportunity, the chance to reach that level. It'll take some longer than others, but yeah, absolutely. Genius level isn't even, in the grand scheme of things, not that high, honestly. Because you also look at it like you can achieve genius in one aspect and be completely dumb in every other area in your life. A good example would be like, what's his name? Floyd Mayweather. Essentially the highest fighting IQ in boxing history. Floyd Mayweather is, right? I'm pretty sure he still can't read. I'm pretty fucking sure. He still cannot read. So you see what I'm saying? Genius is not always well-rounded. So don't place that on yourself too early, okay? Dark game idea, game at a casino without gambling. It's actually easy to do. It's actually very easy to do that. But nah, that's not dark game. The real dark game would be game one of the dealers there, one of the chicks that works at the dealer there, into helping you rob the casino. That's dark game. If you want to do that. Ain't they after the money though, or is it pre-selection? Is it a pre-selection thing? It's not a pre-selection thing. It's an attractiveness trigger thing. It's this man has massive balls because I just saw him put everything on black and it turned out to be a successful gamble, even though it was like a 1 in 300,000 chance. That's what is making it like the money is the afterthought. It's not the money. Granted, there's a few women, right? Or I mean, depending on the situation, women that are just like, I just want the money. That's the guy that just want a lot of money. I want the money and the experiences that can afford me. But for the most part, it's really biological. It's the same as watching a fighter win a fight, or watching a CEO become a billionaire from putting his company, making his company go public, right? It's like a successful risk being taken, an Olympian crossing the finish line first, that kind of thing. To a lesser degree, but same effect. Let's see. Been listening for a minute, and the last thing you said was 100. Emotional security is number 1 type shit. Would it be something like controlling tension and being able to withstand it? Yes. Facts. Also, what's the least important trigger? Least important trigger? That's a good ass question. If it does exist, I probably don't know it because I've never had to focus on triggers that I didn't think were important. So, I don't know. Is there even a least important of all the most important? No. No, not really. They're all, you know. There are some that, okay, like for instance, I have said in the past, pre-selection I wouldn't call necessarily a trigger on its own. It's a good like gateway drug to a trigger, but I wouldn't call it a trigger on its own. Women don't get attracted to you because they find out other women are attracted to you. They become more curious about you. The sense of urgency they have of you increases. It might even increase competition anxiety, depending on the context. But does it actually create more attraction? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Jordan Peterson said women like billionaires, werewolves, vampires, pirates, certain opinions. I know he says that. He talks about it from, I mean, it's not him saying it. He likes to reference the fact that when you take a study of all these women's erotica novels and you take into consideration all the kinds of guys that they find the main character, the female main character being attracted to in all these novels, there's a certain pattern there. And the pattern is always, it's either a billionaire, werewolf, vampire, blah, blah. It's not the guy or the kind of guy that you have to focus on. When he's making that point, he's not talking about go be a fucking vampire. That's not what he's saying. He's saying women are attracted to power. They're attracted to men that have extraordinarily enormous amounts of power over them. Men that can decide their very fate and lives. But for whatever reason, take interest in them and choose to be nice to them and seduce them. Right? That's what he's talking about. And that's, like, I would say it's probably one of Jordan Peterson's major pillars in his philosophy, is that you should be a powerful man, but learn how to be meek with your power. Learn how not to allow that power to take control of you to the point where you begin to abuse it and violate the rights of others and disobey the laws of God. And I strongly believe in that as well, by the way. So, shout out to Jordan Peterson. A few things about what he says sometimes that I disagree with, but that I very much stand behind. Let's see. Yeah, I realize you should never go by what a woman says, only her actions. Yes, and I remember reading that. Well done. Don't allow the fish to teach you how to fish. Exactly. People, I don't believe how many times with my water. Oh, there it is. I won't believe how many times I've had women be like, "You ain't never about women. How can you argue with me? I'm a woman." And I always have the same exact rebuttal. I've dated more women than you. You don't know what it's like to have to approach women in a big black guy's body. You don't understand the dance psychologically that has to happen in the perfect balance and sequence, where you have to masterfully balance danger, representing a high capacity for danger as a quote-unquote black man, and sensitivity, and showing your level of intelligence in an emotional way and a sensitive way. You don't understand that balance, that dance. And that's even for the women that have dated women too. You don't represent the same type of danger a man does. You're a chick. So you don't have to pass that initial barrier to entry that women put up for every man, which is stranger danger. You don't have to trigger a woman's anti-slut defense. You don't know what that feels like. So respectfully, shut the fuck up. I'm not arguing with you bitches. You don't have experience. Shut up. Let's see. Which earth are you life? Is that English? Is that English at all? Someone help me out with Nick Me's message. What the fuck does that mean? Hey, what's going on, Profilo? I'll have a bunch of questions. Go for it. Yes, that is why women love tattoos in men. I thought Escanor wasn't a true protector until he lost his grace and still tried to fight a battle. Type shit, yeah. It's like, one of my favorite protector types. Well, protector with the willingness to provide, right? One of the best, well-written characters in anime that shows the perfect balance between protector and provider is Mirio Togata, aka Lemillion from My Hero Academia. Perfect example of what I keep telling you guys about the difference between overcompensating provider and, you know, and hidden protector and stuff like that. Even though the guy lost his powers, he was still willing to fight to the death to protect that little girl, Eri. Perfect. Shout out to Lemillion. Power! Fuck with that guy. That there was no chance of him winning. Exactly. Women want to confuse. Women want to confuse is to weaken us. It's part of the manipulation tactic to make us like. Okay, I know what you mean. Yeah. They do want. They don't understand that weakening us doesn't make things better for them. They don't seem to get that. Hey, Jace, have you heard about the 48 Laws of the Game Pimpology by Pimpin' Ken? Do you recommend it? No, I have not. What did you call it? 48 Laws of the Game? Interesting. You know I like laws, nigga. Laws of the Game. By who? Pimpology? Pimpology. By Pimpin' Ken. A relationship guide. Interesting. Okay. Alright, I'll check it out. Who this? Interesting. Never heard of this person before. I like pimps though. Pimps are fun. I like them. I love pimps because of their discipline to abide by their code. I fuck with pimps, man. I really do. No one is more disciplined about abiding by the code and the laws of the ism like pimps are. For real. I fuck with them. Let's see. What's on the mind of girls like Tiana Trump? Why do they behave like that? How do you pick up in school? Reasons why you should not date them. How are you selfish, Jace? So many questions. Tiana Trump. That name sounds familiar though. Tiana Trump. Okay. Whoa! Oh, Tiana Trump. Interesting. Why are we talking about a porn star? What? Whoa! She's a pretty girl. If I must find something nice to say about her, she is pretty. Do you have any dark books like seed words is a good way to put it, or Manipulated Man I could read next? I mean, please first read and reread Outwitting the Devil, but then after you're done with that, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Hold on, let me see. I think you should actually read something. You could read something from the occult, actually, if you want to do that. I don't know if I want to put that out here. It'll probably be something to talk about in the group. But yeah, I got a few. Why not? We'll talk about that later. How do you pick up in school? You don't. School is a warm approach situation, so work on your reputation first and then let the girls come to you. Let's see. Reasons why you should not date them. Date the girls at school? Why would I give you reasons for that? There's none. How are you selfish? I'm very selfish. I'm a selfish man. Are you kidding me? Me putting myself first is the reason I can have this platform. Right? Being selfish is where the need for achievement comes from, which is good because then you get to help and serve other people. So the irony of selfishry is that if you do it correctly enough, other people benefit. Right? Because if I don't have enough in me to carry on and do what I do, then you guys don't benefit from the value I give, do you? That's how I'm selfish. I've read stuff on alchemy, so the occult isn't foreign to me. I'd love to see your pics in the group chat. We will talk about that. Reason why dating is good, or dating them is good. So many reasons. I think it's best to F buddies with benefits. What are the steps with the girls like this? So, I already told you guys, if you have to make a girl a friends with benefits, then you don't actually like that girl. That is not a girl you like. That is not a girl you are excited by. If you're actually excited by a girl, you're not going to want her to be in that place. You're just going to want to bring her into your life. So, there's no need to speak when you are living your truth. True. You can tell Jace hates that aspect of women. Type shit. What aspect were we talking about that though? How to deal with hot female football girls, ex-Taylor Hines? What are we talking about? The same way you deal with ballerinas or any other kind of girl. Like, it's the same thing. It's not any different because they happen to have this profession from before. It's like, everything I've been teaching you, do that on her. Make her chase your validation, as in become a social validation. Give her rewards whenever she chases your validation. Punish her with ignoring her or not giving her your time and attention whenever she doesn't. And go from there. Could you post that on YouTube? I'm invested in this kind of thing. Oh yeah, I will. The video from before, we're talking about the think piece, how motivated women are by validation. Absolutely. Plan, I would look 10 out of 10, be myself if I'm broke. It's what it is, and be dominant. How do you see it? Is that your plan? It's a poorly written one. Write it again. Intermittent reward too. Very important. Very true. Well done. How do you say your name? Psych? Psych. Sake? But yeah, you're very right. Don't always give the reward. I have to teach my girl about this with this boy right here, my little doggy dog. You can't reward him for good behavior all the time. You need to be able to let him know that the reward isn't going to come all the time. That way, he's going to be willing to do the thing anyway, every time, regardless of whether there's a reward or not. Over rewarding is just as bad as not rewarding at all. Jace girl, YouTube, ask girl, what, huh? Thank God, what, huh? Release for your, I have no idea what that means. Write it again, Perfilo. Especially all the beauty stuff they do. Yes, women are very meticulous when it comes to their beauty. Very, very meticulous. What is a king? How does one become a king? By rejecting the slave mentality. Did you guys do my homework that I gave you last time and watch that video on YouTube that I told you guys to watch? By Jonathan B. It's a video called, what was it called? Something niche. It was a video essay that a young Asian dude made on YouTube. Hold on. Made on YouTube for the book Masters vs. Slaves by Friedrich Nietzsche. So go and on YouTube type in Friedrich Nietzsche Masters vs. Slave Jonathan B. And you should see that book. That video essay, I mean. Very important. It'll teach you like everything you need to know about the master versus slave mentality. And how they both rationalize their priorities through the world as they walk through it. The genealogy of morality, that was it. The genealogy of morality explained. Go into your YouTube and type that out. That'll give you the perfect way of understanding kings versus slaves. Jace mod me. Pause. You already modded. I appreciate your content, man. Thank you, John Jones. Your name is John Jones? That's so fucking cool. But like not spelt the same way as the John Jones, but Jean Jones. That's pretty dope. Is faking overconfidence good? I'm put like this. If you fake it, at some point someone's going to test you to see if it's real. If faking the confidence at first leads you to want to stand firm by it after you get tested, then it's a good thing. But if someone testing your fake confidence reverts you back to your little bitch self, then obviously it's not a good thing, right? It's not whether you fake it or not that matters. It's how you deal with the tests that inevitably come. Because when you fake confidence, people will test it. Or when your confidence is for real, people are going to test it anyway, just to see if it's real. There's going to be a trial by fire when you're confident in the world. Whenever you say or do anything confident, the world's job is to see if you're being for real. The woman's job is to see if you're being for real. That's why shit tests exist. Objections, compliance tests, all these things. They all exist to see, are you really as confident as you say you are? Oh, you think you're confident, huh? Okay, let me poke at something about you that might make you feel less than good. Let me see how your congruence looks like. Let me see if you stand firm in your identity. Let me see if you backpedal and, try to sidestep or not stand 10 toes down on what you believe in when we test your belief. All right, there's a test for everybody. It's going to happen. The real question is, are you going to survive that test? Are you going to go past that test and pass in flying colors? You feel me? My female friend is upset that I didn't like her IG pic. Love her in private and not in private? Thoughts? Love her in private and not in public, or love her in public and not in private? Is that what you're talking about? And which one are you talking about? My female friend is upset I didn't like her IG pic. Ignore her. Be like, yeah, so what? Beat it, bitch. Like, it's your female friend. It's not your girlfriend, right? It's not a girlfriend. It's not a fiance. It's not a wife. It's not a woman of any real consequence to you. So treat her like the inconsequential bitch she is. And honestly, even if she becomes consequential, still treat her like inconsequential anyway, right? That's what keeps them humble. But yeah, who cares? I didn't like it. So what? What am I gonna like everything you do? No, I actually quite didn't even enjoy that picture. It was kind of trash. I like it when you put something out that I actually enjoy. I didn't like that. Say that. Tell her that. Let her know that she got to work for your like. Every other person will give her a free like. So what? Your like is worth 1 billion of all of theirs combined. All right. Reminds me of the rich daughter from the show called Succession, rich and beautiful, but settled for a man she saw as weak. Women do that all the time, man. That is what most women are doomed to. That's why they're so miserable. And that's why they give so much bad advice. Because their advice only works on weak men. I hear some of these dating coaches talking about, do this with men, do that with men. Like, dude, you deal with a guy with abundance, a man who has options, you're fucked. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. A lot of women see the world through whatever weak men they have. It's unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. What book? Akakino. Is that still a term? Akakino. Oh, like Akakino, aka Kino. I'm such a fucking dumbass. Yes, Kino is still a word. Kinesthetic is where that comes from. Essentially, the transference of information through touch. Right. That is what kinesthetic means. Just found out I've been dating a bop. What do I do? They're all bops. Oh no, she's a bop. Like, so what? None of these girls are going to come to you the way you want them. No woman is going to come to you a finished product. You got to refine a bit. It is what it is. So now you have to ask yourself a very genuine question. Is she worth the amount of work it'll take to refine her from scratch? Or are you going to throw that fish into the water and catch another one that you maybe have to do a lot less work with? Those are your options, my boy. That's it. But all of them got defects. All of them got damage. All of them. There's not a single bitch out here that's running around that actually has their shit together. Doesn't exist. You will be the reason they get their shit together. That's how it works. Got to build these bitches from scratch. The perfect woman doesn't exist out there. She exists in here and in here. So you got to mold these bitches. Just found out. Oh, yeah, read that one. Thanks, bro. That helps a lot. No problem, man. Undercover bops will be the death of me, man. They're all undercover bops. Okay, when I say all of them, I don't mean all women. That's unfair. But the beautiful ones you want, oh yeah, that's for sure. Beautiful women have options, bro. That's the whole point of them being fucking hot. That's why you want them so much. All right. If men, and by the way, this is the hypocrisy of men. Oh, I don't want a bump. I don't want a bump. Okay then. Find your nearest plus size model. Find your nearest chick with an asymmetrical face. There's a lot of those. There's a lot more of those than the women you want, which is the hot ones. There's a lot of non-bops out here. What? A lot of bitches limping around with one leg that are virgins. But you don't want them, do you? Exactly. Because you're a piece of shit too. You're a value hungry piece of shit. Remember that about yourself. Very important. I am too, by the way. I'm not saying it like, oh, you're just a bad person. I want the bad bitches, only the baddest ones. I don't want any other type. The difference between me and you, though, is I'm honest about the shit. Right? So I don't get surprised when I see what they come with. They come with a lot of attention and the ability to generate options. It is what it is. It is what it is. So now you're going to have to make a decision. Make your decision. Let's see. Getting kids is like getting to be a god. Indeed. September. How many girls are in real life and socials? etc. You want like a goal, a plan for September? I mean, shoot for, I want to say 2 or 3 dates a week. You should be fine. Do men and women just use each other for replication and survival value and nothing else? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, let me put it like this. On a base level, yes, that is all we use each other for. If you want to create a relationship that's actually cool and consequential and fun, then you're going to have more utility out of each other than just that. Now it's going to become more emotional, psychological, and spiritual, right? But on a base level, animalistically speaking, that's all we use each other for. We are essentially bodyguards and they are ovens for sperm. That's it. That's pretty much it. Again, on a base level, I'm not saying, that is every relationship at its core. I mean, that is what I'm saying. Like, it is every relationship at its core. But then you get to decide what else you want to have covering it. What the other parts of that entire planet are going to be. And you can make that very fulfilling for yourself and for the girl. Create win-win situations. But fundamentally, you're something to throw in front of the gunfire, and she's something to throw your sperm into. That's it. Do bodyguards get a lot of girls? Absolutely. You know how many, bro, this actually happens a lot more than people realize. How many rich men hire bodyguards and then those bodyguards end up having affairs with their wives? Very common. Very fucking common. No one talks about it, but it's very common. Which makes sense. Like, there's a few guys you shouldn't be surprised if you hear your wife fuck them. Personal trainers are on that list, by the way. Personal trainers, bodyguards, to a lesser degree chefs, right? But yeah, personal trainers, bodyguards, lesser degree chef, lesser degree driver, but like instructors of any kind. Yoga instructor, Pilates instructor. Any guy that is in charge of her and can tell her what to do when she has to listen, she's getting fucked. She's going to get... Any man that gives your woman instruction is liable to fuck that bitch. Do you understand how closely instruction is related and tied into power and how that works for attraction? She literally has to do what the nigga tells her to do. Of course she's gonna fuck him. Duh! Okay, let me give you some good news. It's not that that's gonna be the case every time. No. I'm just saying, there is an inextricable link between power and obedience. Between power and instruction and orders. And there's also an inextricable link between power and attractiveness. Okay? Alright, keep that in mind. That's why bosses fuck their employees. Also, Ryu, can you repin that for me? I didn't see that. My bad. Can you fix in the middle of your relationship journey if the beginning is messed up? You can, but it will take a lot more effort than just starting a new one, to be honest. You definitely can. Personal chef will go crazy, yes. And it always does. Always does. Personal chef, chauffeurs, yeah, they go crazy, but yeah. Let's see. Yeah, relationship. You can definitely fix it. It takes a lot of effort to reframe the entire relationship, and everything in every aspect of the relationship you reframe, you're at risk of losing that relationship forever, because you're fundamentally changing the way the relationship works, right? So you need two things: a lot of time and patience, and a lot of leverage. You can't even begin to make these changes without being repositioning yourself in a significant position of power over the woman, right? And then when you do that, you can start making these changes, maybe slowly over time, maybe, ripping the Band-Aid off, so to speak, but now you're forcing her to exist in a way with you that she's never existed before. That's completely different than the way she was existing with you before. Most women can't survive that switch up, that change. So be ready. Even as much as you like this girl, love this girl, want to continue into the future with this girl, be ready for her to give up on the relationship, because she just can't survive the new brand of tension that exists in a relationship. Right? Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I want to go out every weekend and talk to girls. I want to go high intensity on game. Good. Excellent. Go for it. Where can I find a video on programming? Like, what kind of programming? Like, neuro-linguistic programming? YouTube. Like crazy, I need numbers, not because I need them, but I see them as milestones. Fair enough. Go for it. Running any Labor Day specials for your products. I don't really do any of that stuff. But if you guys want me to, sure, why not? What do you guys have in mind? When is Labor Day? When is fucking Labor Day? I don't even know. I don't be keeping up with holidays and shit. Hey man, I've learned a lot from you. You bring a whole new way to look at the game. Thank you. That's what my job is. I appreciate you for appreciating my perspective. Feelings are important also. They are. Especially the women. Kids are geniuses, man. To punish them is to kill off their inner god. For real. You get it. You fucking get it. The more I understand and help people, the more I realize, man, there's just a few people in the world that are just truly fucked from a young age. Not because they necessarily have anything bad about them, or, tomorrow's Labor Day? Okay, I might do something, why not? Put it to a vote. You guys want me to do something for Labor Day or no? But yeah, a lot of people from a young age are just burdened with massive disadvantages that they don't realize they have until later, which makes them go through life just having the worst outlook and habits. And the more I see that example in everyday life, the more I appreciate my childhood, right? I thought aspects of my childhood were bad. I never thought it was bad. But the more I see the way other people went through life, it's like, damn. Even at my parents' worst, where they were being frankly abusive, there were still a few principles they held on to strongly around keeping, maintaining, and nurturing my confidence. And I'm very grateful to them for that. Very fucking grateful. So yeah, the way you get treated in your formative years is important, man. Very important. For 4 months to become a day master, how many chicks social are in real life in rotation? Just 4 months. You would have to go through at least 50 approaches a day if you want to do it that quickly. 50 approaches a day. You want to turn all those approaches into about 10 dates a week. Figure out how to do that. And then at least 10 dates a week. And then, yeah. Well, regardless, you can't still be a master in 4 months. You have to learn how to manage relationships for a long period of time, right? So, pull up. Oh, thank you, Mafta. Thank you, Asame. Appreciate that. Everyone, go vote. Go vote. What you want me to do for Labor Day? And what specific products do you want me to do it for? My parents didn't condition any belief in me, not gonna lie. I had to build this shit brick by brick as a kid. For real. I feel you that, man. I feel you on that. I had a really good foundation. The more I realize it, the more I appreciate my parents, for sure. Let's see. Oh, let me see. Okay, everyone's voting. That's good. I'm beating my child confidence. You can beat your kids. I think I'm not. Listen, I'm Nigerian, man. you know. So I don't have anything against beating children. My thing is, make sure it's done correctly and at the right time for the right reason. Do not, like, there's a very thin line between discipline and abuse. There really is. We're talking about the whole broken vase thing, right? Perfect example of when not to beat your kids. Do not beat your kids for making honest mistakes. Do not punish your kids in any way for making honest mistakes. I would say beating only happens when they keep making the same mistake over and over. And you have actually, again, first time you've gone out of your way to explain why they shouldn't make that mistake. Second time you've gone out of your way to really explain why they shouldn't make that mistake and how it affects them and others. If they're still stubborn and that's just a lack of discipline part. Now you have to help them with their discipline, which is introduce pain. Now it's important. Now you have to make sure you beat the fuck out that kid. Okay, not beat the fuck out the kid. Be controlled about that. Pick a body part, 5 to 10 lashes, you're fine. As long as they can associate the wrongdoing with pain, you're fine. But yeah, be very, like, if you're raising your kids correctly, you really should only beat them a handful of times throughout their lives. Like 5 times tops, really. And the majority of it will be in the teenage years. You know what I mean? Like, I think about even my childhood growing up, my parents beat me for a lot of stuff. But a lot of the stuff they didn't need to beat me for, thank God I'm at least wise and grown enough to know, like, they probably shouldn't have beat me for that. That was wrong on their part. But also, they didn't even explain to me in some occasions why they beat me for that thing. Like, what was so bad about it? I still, like, there's particular times when my parents beat me up where I'm like, why though? Even till this day, I'm like, I mean, yeah, I can see how that might have been inconvenient for them, but what the fuck lesson did they think they were trying to teach me with that? That was stupid. But yeah, I think just be a well-rounded human being, and it helps you to understand how to create someone else's experience in the world. You know, be compassionate. It's important. What you looking at, buddy? He's looking out the window like a cutie pie. Look at him. You're staring out the window and shit at the world. It's a beautiful view. I got those, so I don't blame him. What in 6 months? I am approaching in the weekends just because, Jace, I live in a dead place. Still can't do it in 6 months. You can become a master approacher in 6 months. Again, if you're doing it in weekends, fucking try to hit 100 every fucking weekend. Because you have to make up for the days you're not approaching. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, go from there. Bro looking outside like, where the baddies at? It's funny you say that, because if anything, this one scares the hoes. I have a neighbor that has these 2 big golden retrievers, beautiful dogs, fluffy. And I was walking him literally this morning. Like, my mornings, I wake up super early. I go through my little meditation, whatever. Then I walk him before I go through my own personal walk as part of my meditation. I have this whole morning routine. But we get to the door, these 2 dogs are there. This is the first time he's meeting them. And I'm like, oh yeah, listen, my dog is cool, because this is how he is. He's like friendly as fuck. He's that dog that he's walking past everybody, he's trying to say hi to everybody. But that's the thing though, he's like super hyper. Don't let this calm demeanor fool you. This motherfucker is hype. Like, he'll jump on bitches with giant titties, which, you know, I'm not complaining about, but, you know, that's his life. That's how he moves, right? When he saw those dogs, he was calm. He was cool at first, but then he just started going crazy. And he can jump high, so he started doing backflips and shit. I'm like, yo, chill out, bro. Bless you. Chill out, bro. You are scaring the hoes. You're scaring the hoes. Yeah, my father didn't push me through some pain as a kid. I gotta catch up. I feel you on that. Your father's job is to put you through pain in a controlled environment. Your father's job is to create the environment where you can go through pain in a way that you learn lessons from it without taking permanent damage from it forever. Right? Your dog is a hidden protector for yeah. He's doing a great job pretending right now to be he's a great boy actually. Like, it's very easy to train him. I'm at the point now where I can get him to not eat the food when I put it in front of him until I tell him to. Like, he's really that well trained. But that aspect about, like, going out in public and getting overstimulated, we gotta work on that a little bit. Don't we, buddy? Do we, buddy? Look at me, so cute. Oh God, he's adorable. He's adorable as shit. Put all the dark game for Labor Day tomorrow is crazy. I didn't even read that. Y'all crazy. Hell no. Read that fucking poll. Different question. Y'all some crazy ass crackers. I'm telling you. There should rarely be a reason to do that if you raise them correctly. That is exactly. Experiment what? Getting hella kids to have more versions of you is such a good goal, for real, man. It's a fucking wonderful goal. Especially if you know you're a good person. If you know you're a well-balanced individual, having more of you is what the world needs. You feel me? Like, imagine we had more, Nelson Mandela's, Martin Luther King's, Mother Teresa's. That'd be a great fucking world. It's unfortunate we have very few of these people. I got absolutely bummed a couple of days ago because I lost my temper with this one girl. As you should. Good. That's what you deserve. You are supposed to get punished whenever you lose emotional control. You are. That's what's supposed to happen. A child that is rewarded for losing his cool, or an adult that is rewarded for losing his cool, is going to turn out to be a shitty fucking human being. Which is why, by the way, as a side note, I hate this one guy. And there's a reality TV show called Love Island USA. Me and my girl are still watching the whole thing. And there's this one guy that all the girls like. He's a really handsome, tall white boy. His name is Rob. Blue eyes, dark hair, like tall, dark, and handsome white version. That's him. Tattoo of a snake around his arm. At one point, he got called out for trying to two-time these two girls on the show. And his reaction was to take off his shirt and just jump in the pool and start crying. And I thought that was such a bitch fucking behavior, and I hated him for it. For two reasons. One, fucking weak-ass male behavior. But two, I knew because of his situation, like aesthetic white dude, he was going to get away with that behavior. I knew he was, and he did. Fuck. So, yeah, that's how I know he's a piece of shit. Let the Rob hate begin. Fuck that guy. Forget Mother Teresa. We need more Jaces and Ryus. For real. We need more of us. We do. A lot of women ain't gonna like it, but we do. Apparently one of my friends or acquaintances was talking to the same girl I was, and apparently she was saying crazy stuff to him. He kept mocking me and got so angry I made an ultimatum to her saying him or me. And let me guess, she chose him? She told me she never even saw him that way. I told you, Philip and Fish Army, and they told me I made a basic mistake. So I called the girl, and she kept making me even more angry because she was controlling the frame like crazy, and it just took something off in my brain. She was making a frame where I liked her in that way, and she didn't even know she was the one chasing. So I said to her, I never liked her like that, and it wasn't that deep, and you need to stop asking if I'm all right. Okay, interesting. I don't want to even read, and I'm cool with her, so she can still be my friend. She ain't looking for ours. I'll just chat to another girl. She then got sad and said, all right, just don't forget about me. I feel like some idiot. No. If anything, you kind of handled it pretty good at the end there. Just kind of amicably separate and be like, listen, I don't really think this is going to work out, but we'll still be cool. That's not bad. Water. It's not bad at all. You might have lost your cool there, but you gathered yourself together in the end. I'm not mad at you. That's good. But let me see. I gotta go back up there. Apparently, maybe I just need to experience it. I feel like I changed my mind once I have my own. Oh, dude, listen, Mexicans, I can tell already. You're gonna be like one of those big Papa Bear type of dads. You don't have a choice. You're gonna. And that's kind of concerning, actually. You might become one of those daddy's little girls type of dads. Like, you're gonna have a daughter, and she's gonna become your life. And I'm gonna have to be the one to tell you, like, yo, chill the fuck out. Chill. You know what I mean? Let's see. Beginner, intermediate, advanced, expert, master in 6 months. High intensity from beginner to. Again, 6 months is not enough to learn all the intricacies, though. Like, you gotta be a woman for a long period of time to really get to, like, that level, you know? But try that out. See how that works. Let's see. You're deaful, bro. Greetings. How you doing, man? How you doing? Open your eye, friend. Open your eyes. I keep making that joke. Can you describe your different products? Link in bio, man. Link in bio. Besides, I keep telling you guys, don't even buy anything from me until you go through my free shit and use that and see results in your life first. Okay? How do you build belief in a girl? You make her do hard shit. Right? It's the same formula for women as it is for men. The reason women don't have high self-belief, or if they don't have high self-esteem, is because they don't trust themselves. They don't see themselves as competent or capable. So you got to make them do hard shit so they become competent and capable, and then they can begin to see themselves in a better light. That's what you got to do. Hey Jason, I'm a mod. How can I join the rest of the group? Hit up Ryu in the DMs. He'll give you the rest from there. Let's see. Bro, question: how to regain your value in a relationship you lost when you were trying to compromise? You immediately stop compromising. You do the exact opposite of what you've been doing so far. You earn your self-respect back by making sure you do things that are the exact opposite of what were making you lose your respect in the first place. The bending to her will, the compromising, the not risking things around her, or not being able to offend her or risk offending her. Start offending her immediately. Start taking away value in terms of your time and attention, and start replacing it with, doing things that you want to do. Okay? Ever since not texting girls until they become more important than scratching my balls, I barely even text these girls. It's like one text every 3 days. Exactly. See? I just suddenly started moving like that. See? Chat to another girl. She then got sad. Oh, I read that one. With women, I've literally been dating in person for months, so I don't know. Is that wrong? It's not wrong at all. Girls post me, but their friends. I already read that one too. Then what is a good compliment for a guy from a woman? Well, it has to be believable. The best thing, the most important thing about every compliment is that it has to be believable. And what makes a compliment believable is, essentially being able to make the other person believe that it is a value in them that you recognize, that you have gone out of your way to discover. AKA, the time you spent with them, you've noticed this about them, this is something that you actually can confidently say is true about them because of, the time you spent with them. That is where heartfelt compliments come from. You can compliment, the small things, the way they look, the way they dress, blah, blah, that's cool. But if you want to give a man a compliment that will last a lifetime, you got to tell him something about himself that you genuinely like about him, that you've noticed over a certain period of time. That's how you compliment, man. So, be creative. Figure that out. What's going on, Luca? It has been a minute, but I'm back. If we assume women don't actually love or care about their provider, pet, boyfriend, what makes them love or care about the protector, since with guys they use only for money or social status symbols, they remain emotionless? What is it about us that gets them to feel real emotions? That's a good question. That thing, by the way, what you're referring to is actual genuine desire. That's what people would call genuine desire in the red pill space, right? Send a message for you. We sent you a message. But also, that is what genuine desire is. Why is that genuine desire over any other thing? It's because it taps directly into solving the biological imperative, which is survival replication. It does both at the same time, is the point. Right? Social status might help her with her survival, but it doesn't necessarily do much for her replication. Same thing with money. Right? It doesn't make her feel a strong affinity for you on a biological level. What makes, what the protector has to provide, the risk-taking ability, more hard-hitting on a biological level is the fact that it solves for both at the same time, the replication and the survival. Does that make sense? It makes her pussy get wet. All right? Okay. Let's see. I'm emotional. How old are you, Jason? I'm 29. When do you know it's time to stop the attraction phase and start building comfort? When she starts, usually it'll be the woman to start seeking comfort with you. She'll be the one to start asking you questions that are rather intimate, right? Oh, look at my boy. She'll be the one to start asking you questions that are rather intimate. If you do something that scares you, even if the execution goes bad. Is it the thought that counts? Yes. You can be completely unsuccessful in doing something that scares you, but just the fact that you did it, you've learned something. You've gained something, right? If you want a extreme example, let's say you want to go skydiving. Let's say you do your skydiving thing and it's fucking trash. You land incorrectly. You fucking fall out of the plane in the weird angle, blah, blah. You did everything wrong. The mere fact that you actually jumped out of the plane is more than enough. That's the real lesson to be learned. Is getting over that initial hump of fear and not allowing the fear to control you or make you change your mind. One text every 3 days. What side of TikTok did I end up on? You might get a woman to chase. Nadine, you're a chick. You're not a dude. You don't know what it's like to text girls. Shut the fuck up. I want to hear it. Just go away. Chill. Beat it. You're talking about guys that actually talk to women. Like, shut the fuck up. Shoot. Beat it. I want to talk to her. Right. Sure. As soon as she gets, she'll be bored. That's not genuine. Again, just talking like a woman. Listen. Nothing bores a woman more than predictability. If I have to say it out loud. Fine. You force me. Nothing bores a woman more than predictability. You know what keeps women away from boredom and keeps them excited? Unpredictability. So yes, in the 3 days I'm not texting her, she's doing nothing but wondering if she'll ever see me again. That's how we do it. That's why we can talk like this, because we do it all the time. Shut up, Nadine. I want to hear you. Go away. Beat it. I'm going to game Nadine after this to prove the point. Go for it. Is she pretty at least? I don't know. She doesn't sound pretty. She go vet her or something. Go see what's going on there. Like, ugh. Just telling fishermen how to fish. Shut the fuck up. I'm losing patience when it comes to that. I'm fucking losing patience. Anyway, telling me to shut the fuck up because I'm a woman that disagrees with you. How intelligent? Yeah. Did you think you were being sarcastically funny? Yes. Beat it. You're distracting me right now. Go away. Let's see. When you don't know it's time to stop attraction. Oh, yeah, I read that one. I'm 38, pulled many 10s, but back end game was trash. I want kids at some point. Okay, so if you're worried, if your back end game is bad, that tells me you're relying on something in your front end that isn't good. You know what I mean? That's the issue. If your back end is trash, there's something you're doing in your front end. It's usually over-reliance on something in the front end that you can't keep all the way into the back end that's fucking you over. Does that make sense? JC's the woman, have mercy. I'm losing patience, man. I need these grizzly bears to leave me the fuck alone. Go choose the bear or something. Like, go away. Like, it's like telling Floyd Mayweather, "Oh, you're not jabbing correctly, bitch. You've never shot a jab. Shut up." What? No mercy for the weak. Exactly. Like, we don't know. The fact that you think you have an opinion here, shut the fuck up. I want to hear it. Beat it. Jesus. Yeah, you could really hurt someone being trained. Exactly. Being trained is a big deal. And just manipulative, falsely generated emotions. Wait, huh? Oh, I see. Yeah, but the genuine desire thing, absolutely. You're a joke compared to the man I date, but your ego wouldn't accept that truth. Let's see the men you date, Nadine. I want to see. I want to see. I'm very curious. Someone go fact check her. Go fact check her. Let's see the men you date, Nadine. I'm gonna make a video about you, Nadine. Let's go find Nadine's men. Let's see them. I want to see Nadine's men. Everyone is like, you gotta show me Nadine's men. I want to find that. I'm just using it as an example because I'm tired of the same thing happening over and over again. Let's go see these men. Come on. I want to see them. Because I know how I match up to other men. So I want to see these men. Please show me these men. Mind you, you're not wrong. I do have a massive ego. You're very correct. Right? But there's a reason for it. This didn't happen overnight. Okay? So it's very important now. Very important, Nadine. Jace, you're gonna love this. I looked at her followers. These are the guys that look these are guys that look like you literally. That's so funny. Let me see. Send me screenshots in the group chat. I'm very curious. Oh god. Hold on. I want to get to these questions. Once I get a girl, no, she just wants to be relevant. Don't get her. That's what I'm saying. I want to get to the questions. I don't even want to. Just figure out the Nadine shit for me in the back end. We'll figure her out later. Once I get 4, 10 and master the back end, why and when procreate. You want to get 4 10s? Is that what you're saying? And then master the back end, and then when you procreate whenever the fuck you want. Procreation should happen if you want like a hard rule, which I don't really believe in. But if you want a hard rule, procreation should happen when you've gotten the girl to a certain point of hypnotic rhythm, what I call hypnotic rhythm, which is she is so heavily invested in you and your cause and your mission that she's willing to make any sacrifice for you. At that point, procreation should happen. Let's see, not just manipulated, falsely generated emotions. I already read that one. Jace, but why are girls like Nadine here? Like, for real, why? Because they don't want the message to go out, guys. I'm making fun of it, like, you know, the little, oh, get the fuck out, shut up. But you do know I'm, like, feeding into it on purpose, right? Like, think about it like this. A woman's job is to make sure that the things I tell you, you don't know. Do you really think it benefits women if there's more men like me running around? That's scary for them. Like, really put yourself in their shoes. If there's men everywhere running around that know what they are, that understand what they are, that doesn't benefit them. It doesn't. So they have to find a way to detract from this. They have to. They have to find a way to like, oh no, this is wrong. You're not as good as the men. They have to say things like that. You know what I'm saying? Just play along, play along. We're ruining her life for manipulation, essentially. Exactly. Like I said before, attraction and even a woman, the act of a woman falling in love is a scary thing for them. Because they realize how much power they now relinquish to someone else. Involuntarily. So no, this is like, women don't want these places to exist, man. It's scary for them. Is there a specific event in your life that shaped your current outlook on life or views? I don't know if there's a specific one. There's actually several, if I really think about it. There's several. I think you get through enough experiences with women, no one experience really sticks out like that all the time. Like, there's a few that do stick out, but for the most part, you just, especially in my case, I'm a stubborn learner. So you learn the same lesson over and over and over and over and over again. You get the message. You get the point. And then that makes you a certain type of person, you know? If you're looking for a story, though, I got several. The girl I told we should stop talking saw me after a few weeks, and she said, I'm unpredictable and toxic. Good. That's a compliment. That also tells me, though, you're dealing with girls you don't find attractive. You're dealing with girls below your standard. Remember what I told you guys? Tension, self-esteem. There's a massive correlation. If the tension is too high for your self-esteem, you really shouldn't be dealing with that girl. Because that would require you to stifle yourself and your level of unpredictability to make her feel more comfortable in a relationship. Don't forget, like, there's both aspects. Girls can reject you because you're not good enough, but they can also reject you because you're too good. They feel like they don't match up to you, and that's what you've done. You're too unpredictable. She called it toxic, right? That's the word they use, toxic. Toxic is a word women only use on men that they know that they can't control. AKA, you're a fucking king. You're not a slave. And some women's self-esteem are so low, they need you to be a certain degree of slave for them to feel comfortable in the relationship. Like Nadine. You see what I'm saying? So that's not a bad thing. That's a compliment. That's a good thing. What should I be yapping about on the first date? You really should be doing more asking questions and telling stories. Every first date should just be you asking questions and answering questions and telling stories. We hung out a little. I told her I love her and I haven't texted her in weeks. She seems enthusiastic each time she sees me. Wanted to tell me all the things that happened during the time we weren't talking. Good. That's a good spread. That's a good thing. What was the Blueprint book? It wasn't a book. It was a program. It's called Blueprint Decoded by Owen Cook. Right? So go search that up. Jace, Nadine is trying to attack our egos in a predictable, weak way. Pretty much, yeah. We've kind of gone too hard on Nadine now. Shout out to her. Give her some space. Again, I keep telling you guys, you know, troll and stuff, whatever, feed into it a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's women. Like, you know, they can only take so much, you know, so have a little bit of mercy. But I don't remember who it was that told us have mercy on them. They were right, you just did it too early. You got to give them a little hell first. You can't just, like, every time have mercy. Like, no. Sometimes you got to, like, remind them you can be venomous too. You know, they only appreciate the antidote when they're stricken with the venom first, right? When it's coursing through their veins and they're about to die, then you give them the antidote. Then they appreciate the antidote. You feel me? No, actually, she's giving me compliments you want to see. Oh, hell yeah. See? Of course. Can you improve your intel? I already read that one. Who or what shaped your outlook on life? Oh, yeah, I read that one, didn't I? Yeah. What's the best way to overcome the initial resistance after approaching her? Sit in the tension. The initial resistance is just tension, right? Whether she's ignoring you, whether she's trying to say something to disparage you or make you feel like less. Be playful, sit in the tension. Mostly be playful though. Like your ability to not take her seriously will take you a long way. How to handle them in real life while talking on a table. What are we talking about? Handling in real life? Talking on a table? Are you the one that approached the table? Did they invite you to the table? Did you create the table and come with them? Like, what happened there? Okay, love, you look... Oh, this Nadine? Oh, okay. She's talking to Ryu? Aw. You look better than me in your profiles. Teach me your angles. Aw. That's a sweet compliment. She said you're a bad bitch, Ryu. I've been calling you a bad bitch since the beginning. We both bad bitches, so, you know. Shout out to Nadine. Nadine just became nice all of a sudden. Thanks, girl. Ooh, which reminds me. Everybody go watch the Wolverine and Deadpool movie right now. Like, for real. Everybody go watch it. That is one of the funniest movies I've seen in a long time. Girls like Nadine attacking you. Hey, it is what it is. I don't like girls like Nadine, so it's fine. It's okay. Let's see. Game idea. Game at a casino without gambling. Yeah, I remember that one. BRB gambling my life savings on Red. Gambling my life savings on Red is crazy. Let's see. I was giving genuine input. Oh, we appreciate it. That's good. Thank you, Nadine. Appreciate it. Where's my water? Appreciate it. No, for real. Thank you. The angles are great, though, for real. Let's see. Haven't purchased the interview yet, but put all my consequential homeboys on your content type shit. Appreciate it. But how do you put them back in their place in real life? Oh, if you're like dealing with like a Nadine? Okay, this is how you do it. First things first, with that in real life setting, the best way to actually deal with it is just ignore them. Just look them like this. Turn around and go talk to someone else. Right? That's how you would do it. Besides, the only way that would happen in real life is if you were talking to a group chat. It would always be, you're talking to 3 girls. There's that one girl that's trying to chatter and get your attention. You can literally just talk to the other 2, turn your back to that one, and just keep talking like that. Right? That would be the best way to deal with it in real life. Right. In real life, I wouldn't entertain this. I do this for TikTok to be entertaining. But in real life, I don't give a shit. I really don't. Like, I'm much harsher in real life. Because my real life time is far more valuable. Right? Like, it's real life. So, I really don't care about the opinion of women I don't find attractive. It sounds harsh to say, but it's really true. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. Would you be kind enough to not use my name as an example for violent misogyny? I have no idea what you're talking about. I said ignoring women is violent misogyny? Is that what you just said? You see, that's what I'm saying. Like in real life, you wouldn't even entertain that. It's just like, oh, sure, whatever. And just keep talking to the girls you actually want to talk to. That's what you would do in real life. Because what did she just say? What sense did that just make? Ignoring women is violent misogyny. I would just laugh in her face and just talk to the girls like, you know, if this is bad, she's in for a treat. Like, for real. Like, Jesus Christ. Just ignore it. Keep telling you guys. Focus on what you want to see, not what you don't want to see. This is why I'm very brutal and ruthless about the way I talk about women. Like, if it's not attractive women, I don't fucking care, dude. I don't care. Oh, you only respect women you find attractive? Yes. Because attractive people deserve respect, because it's hard to be attractive, especially as a woman. It's very fucking difficult. Go and check out your nearest baddie and see how much effort, time, and sacrifice they put into being baddies. It's very difficult. And because of that effort, time, and sacrifice, and the discipline they have to have with that, they have a certain kind of life view. They have a certain kind of way they move through the world and perspective, which is very different than what Nadine is doing right now. So, how many times have I said this when I say the way a woman looks is directly correlated to the way her self-esteem is set up? Why do you think I keep saying shit like that? Right? It's not as direct a correlation every single time, like 1 of 1, but it's a very good indicator. Very fucking good indicator. You know what I'm saying? The way she looks, tell you every time. This is bad to me, so just asking you again to not use my name again, please. I don't give a fuck about your name. Go away. Would you give a girl that you were talking to a small loan if she asked and needed it, like $100? No! Why is she... First of all, why does she have the confidence to ask you for anything that soon? Think about it. Why does she have the confidence to ask you for anything that soon? How have you been presenting yourself to make her feel like, you know, I can get away with this behavior? This is why I keep telling you guys, date bougie women. Bougie women are too coof and have too much etiquette to do dumb shit like that. Oh, I'm just gonna ask this random guy for $100. No. We calling these type of women Nadines from now on. It's funny. I second that, by the way. Yeah, for sure. Maybe not even Nadines. I think sardines. Yeah. I feel like on a philosophical level, we have to call them sardines. Because they're fishy like that. Yeah. But again, remember guys, in real life, just ignore them. Just ignore them. Ignore the sardines of the world. Ain't nobody give a fuck about sardines. But no, do not give women any loans that you've just been talking to. She ain't even popped it open for you yet. Talking to? Stop it. Stop it. Luca, no, he said, are you going for the new Pixel 9? I've been looking at the new Pixel 9 Pro. I think I might cop that. I think I might just fucking... I actually had the website open. There it is. It's a pretty fucking phone, dude. And I like the fact that it's big. I miss having a big phone. I miss having a 6.8 LED screen display, bro. I like big phones. Because I got big hands, and you know, thumb size gets in the way of texting sometimes. So if the phone doesn't fit me like this, like, I don't want it, dude. This phone is a lot smaller. Like, I can cover this phone with my entire hand. But this is a 6.8 as well. I'm gonna need a Google Pixel in that. For real. Who you talking to? Shira 7. Shira 7 is crazy. A girl says when wants to end things, and the next text says, call me if you want to fix things. Should I? No, she's clearly trying to, manipulate you. Oh, I want to end things, but I'm going to use the fact that I want to end things as a way to call you, to make you call me to fix things. Be like, no, I'm cool on that. I prefer to end things, thank you. And then make her do the chasing. She's trying to get you off your center. That's, that's unimportant. Hey, how to keep family and friends far from rolling with you because you're famous. Far from rolling with you because you're famous? I don't get it. Like, you want to keep them away? Wouldn't you want to keep them close, especially if you're famous? Don't you want people around you actually can trust? Or don't you trust your family? The big three: sweethearts, sirens, and sardines. Oh, let's go! I like that. That's beautiful. And they're all S's. Perfect. The three big S's: sweethearts, sirens, and sardines. Yes. Sardines. We're going to run that shit into the ground, but we're going to run that shit into the ground. We're going to run. Oh, shit. Let's see. Any books on how to be successful and selfish in dating and making money? Relentless by Timothy S. Grover. The Science of Getting Rich by Walter D. Waddles. The Richest Man in Babylon is a very good book. $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. $100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozi as well. Read anything by Russell Brunson. I don't care what you read. Any of the Expert Secrets books. All of them. Read all of them. What else on money? What else is good for money? I think like The Richest Man in Babylon and Walter D. Waddles' The Science of Getting Rich would be like the basics, though, if you want to start somewhere. You know? These are good books. Let's see. When you do something that scares you, even if you don't... Oh, I read that one. Analogy of morality. Can you give some warm approach advice? Let me get up. Sardine is the way to go. Can you give some warm approach advice? Because I start school September 5th. As for reputation, I'm well known. Oh, okay. If that's the case... You just got to start talking to all the girls in a friendly manner. Nadine is drowning right now. Oh, dumb. Oh, I haven't gotten there, but I'm guessing you guys are piling on her. Again, I told you guys, take it easy, though. Take it easy. Take it easy on Sardine. Take it easy. Chill. She didn't know any better. She'll learn now. Just take it easy. We've shown her strength. Let's show her some sensitivity now. But hey, Sardine, don't fucking do that again. All right? Chill out. You don't know what you're talking about. I have a cousin I don't gel with, but not cool if I hit success, how to keep them far. Okay, just start ignoring them now. That's the easiest way to do it. You know, that's how I did it. Like, if you keep them far to begin with, they have no right to, like, try to get closer to you once you hit it big. Simple enough. As for the warm approach, starting school soon thing, just start talking to the girls in a friendly manner, and then you'll have opportunities open up for you as you go. If your reputation is already as good as you think it is, right? Let's see. Profile, actual names, a little sign. If you click on is it me? Not lagging for me. Yeah, that's right. Your internet is shit. Mine is great. Let's see. Sir, go talk to 14-year-olds and tell me what to do. Okay, Sardine. Appreciate it. Oh no, Sardine is spiraling. You can just like, you know, be nice. It's okay. You tried your little thing, it didn't work. Just be nice. It's okay. I don't hate you. It's okay, Sards. Isn't that right, boy? Come say hi to Sardine real quick. Even he doesn't like sardines, but you know, bless you. He doesn't fuck with you, Sardine. He doesn't want to talk to you, but you know. It's okay. Even my boy's like, damn, I don't really fuck with this Sardine person. It's just be nice. It's okay. Like, just be nice. It's okay. You're trying to live an existence that isn't you, baby boo. It's not you. It's not. It's not you. Superpowers getting neutralized. We can only watch in silence. For real, like, just stop, Sards. Like, come on, Sards. You don't gotta. Come on, Din Din. You don't gotta. Just be nice. It's okay. Okay. First of all, this is not the first time we've had a woman disagree with us. This is just not the first time. The difference is you came in with this weird energy. Like, you didn't have to do all that. Like, just, it's okay. You can disagree. I'll allow you to disagree. But come correct. All right, chill out. Anyway, I miss these lives. Not gonna lie, me too, man. Me too. I have a little more than a week left of my 30-day fast and advice on how to end it. Ooh, get you bone broth. Bone broth is a great way to slowly introduce or reintroduce food into your system. And then, make you a little salmon. Actually, sardines are good. So there we go. Sardine being useful for once. Get a can of sardines, eat that the first day and drink some bone broth with it. And then wait about 6 to 8 hours and then eat a small portion meal. I personally just go for more fish. I like fish because it's great in protein and healthy fat. So I usually make me like salmon, and then I have that with like a little bit of something, fatty or proteiny on the side. The SARD revolution, for real. But yeah, that's how you break your fast. Just make sure you do it slowly. Don't just go and like carb the fuck up. Like really be careful on carbs, by the way. You don't want to go that long without food and then reintroduce carbs to your system. That's a bad thing. You'll fuck up your insulin levels. Yeah, but they're close to my parents. Keep opening the door to him. I see he's evil, jealous. Who cares? Just because you're close to your parents doesn't mean that they have to be close to you. Fuck them. I have no reputation. I'm going back to school in September. Should I just cold approach? You can, or you can just work on your reputation. It's the one place you're going to be at for a while. Like, school is your life. Whether you like to admit it or not, you spend more time there than anywhere else, than even your house. And I don't know what their school situation is, but, it's your life. So if there's one thing I'll tell anyone that's still in school, care about it. Care about your reputation, because that's where you exist the most. And the experience you have there, whether you like it or not, will shape the rest of your life, right? So be very careful with that. I can attest to the personal trainer thing, for real. Personal trainers get it. Personal trainers, pool boys, and bodyguards are the official wife fuckers. No one talks about it. Sardine is even funnier in the context of fish and fishermen, for real. It is, because it's like, don't let a fish teach you how to fish. And here comes this annoying fish telling us how to fish. Like, go away, sardine. Go away. What's the difference between S and R value in attraction switches? It's the same thing. Well, okay, one is a vehicle for the other. Attraction switches or triggers are the vehicle with which you use to demonstrate S and R value. That's essentially the difference, right? When you're showing that you're the leader of men, protector of loved ones, pre-selected by the women, a successful risk taker, a believer in something bigger than yourself, you have the willingness to emote. All these things are vehicles that demonstrate things about you that are actually attractive. Does that make sense? Love that I've become the subject of matter, blah, blah. Good for you, good for you. The game is flawed. Yes, the game is perfect, first of all. Your understanding of the game is flawed. That's the most important thing. Ain't it wild how much women are used to it, like them gaming you or something, or you gaming them? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Used to it, like the game I'm saying. They're not used to the game. If they're used to the game, then it wouldn't work anymore. And I can tell you for a fact, it still works. A lot better, actually, than before, because the technology has only gotten better. What is this comment that keeps popping up and going away? Just let it rock. Whoever that is. Just got do anything to drive more traffic to your account. Would that be any value to you? It would be, but not right now. Don't worry about that right now. That's not the season for that. Again, you guys know me. I like to do everything with a certain timing. It's very important. Timing and seasons are very important in the world. Oh God. Now every time I see this little goofy profile picture, I gotta roll my eyes a little bit. What the hell does sardine have to say now? I love that I become, isn't this the same one I just read before? Become the subject of the live my one comment did a number on y'all. Oh wow. That's pathetic, sardine. Oh no. Your self-rationalization to make yourself feel important? Is that self-grandiosity I'm seeing? That's not. Oh wow. Oh, you're sicker than I thought. Oh no. That's wow. I mean, it was funny before, but now I'm like concerned. Did you just find a way to tell yourself you're important? From people making fun of you? I mean, I respect the delusion, I guess, but damn. Now I'm concerned. Guys, stop going in on Sardine. Just leave her alone. She's not all the way there. That's not good. You sound like Eric Cartman from South Park. That's literally what he does. You ever seen an episode of South Park, Eric Cartman, where he does some fucked up shit and then everyone is like going in on him and he finds a way to tell himself that makes him important? Damn. That's psychosis, bitch. Damn. Listen, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was that bad. I'm gonna leave you alone now, girl. God bless you. Damn. Jesus. I mean, I got a big ego, but even I can check myself when that happens. Holy shit. Damn. 4 months become a grandmaster. Oh, yeah, we don't. Sardine, we forgive you out of the chat in Jesus' name. No, don't cast her out. It's okay, she can hang. But damn, that's just leave her alone. Leave her alone. Damn. That's literal Eric Cartman shit. Holy fuck. Self-grandiosity at its finest. I feel sorry for her. How do we make money? By solving problems for other people. That is how you make money. Money is a consequence of value given. Value is essentially creating convenience, saving time, or relieving pain of other people. That is how you make money. Whatever vehicle you choose to do all those things, up to you. But essentially, money is a consequence of solving other people's problems. Okay? Yes, I do have a dog. He's a cute boy. He's sleepy right now, but he's so cute. Let's see. Forget Mother Teresa. Man U 03. Manchester United. I don't care about them. I'm sorry. I'm a contact sport kind of guy. Absolutely no game on any of those reality TV shows. Exactly. None of those guys know what the fuck they're doing. It's hilarious. It's funny. There's a guy that I'm watching in that particular Love Island USA season. His name is Cordell. I like the guy. He's a likable dude, but he pisses me off, bro. Oh, he pisses me off because, like, dude, what are you doing? He's letting this girl named Serena just play him like a fucking fiddle, bro. It's annoying. Is it normal to feel a certain type of negative way because of your body frame? Very normal for most people, but if you want to be the exception to the rule, then you don't want to take that as normal in your life. You know? Oh yeah, this is when Sardine started going in. Y'all forgive Sardine. Forgive my child Sardine. She knoweth not what she does. Okay. I feel like I care too much for my daughters, but my sons put my thumbs through the barracks. Me too, honestly. Good luck to my sons. Good luck to them. She has not seen the Father. We must forgive her. Yes, she has not seen the Father. We must forgive Sardine. We will take Sardine and we will turn her into a feast fit to feed 15,000. Amen. 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 Mildly attractive, bad attitude. She requires upward conditioning. Mm-hmm. Again, self-esteem. And what I keep telling you guys about that. Let's see. I'm shy. I want to be a pro athlete. Can you make a video? You're shy and want to be a pro athlete? Go and watch the anime called Blue Lock. Blue Lock will teach you everything you need to know about what it takes to become a pro athlete. That, like, it's literal anime, but it will literally help you. It's very important. The following to followers ratio says a lot. Oh, we're still talking about Dean? Forget about her. Let me scroll past all this Dean content. Damn, y'all went. Damn. Jesus. Damn. God damn. Y'all went in on Dean. That's crazy. You mentioned you're a stubborn learner. Since when have you been assuming this identity and why? I would say, I'll put it like this. The things I've been through in life, my experiences and my unique perspective on them, have led me down a very specific path. All right? So I don't see it as assuming an identity. I see it as my identity has been forged over time. Does that make sense? That's one. Two, the concept of being built from the ground up is something a lot of people underestimate, right? When you get put through the fire, right, of going through something over and over and over and over and over again, you get solidified in that thing. And it becomes very clear to you that, at least in your experience and in the experience of others that you've been able to observe, that is the way things work. Does that make sense? Just for anyone that wonders why I speak so confidently the way I do. Because I've noticed over years that it works. It's really that simple. It's not too complex, I hope. Do you think women have slave morality? I mean, if you study enough about evolutionary psychology, they kind of have to. They kind of have to play the victim. They have to be, because they don't have any other choice. Like, women aren't, their forte isn't physical dominance, right? And when you're a physically weaker creature in a world where the other half of the creatures on it are physically stronger than you, you have to find other means to gain power. And for them, that's being the victim. They have to have the slave mentality. They have to have the victimhood as the power source. It has to be the case. So yeah. Let's see. Jason, in the Old Testament, do you think you favor the most? Is it Solomon? No. Ironically, it's not. It should be. He's probably number 2, but it's not. The person I favor the most so there's different people in the Old Testament that I'm impressed for several reasons for. Believe it or not, one of my favorite people in the Old Testament is Esther. I fuck with Esther. Because she's the only example in the Bible, as far as I can... Well, not the only example, but one of the best examples, the most detailed examples, as far as I can tell in the Bible, of a woman running game successfully, from a woman's point of view. So I fuck with Esther. I think Jonah had balls. That man went against God. God gave him an instruction and he said, nah, I'm going to go in the opposite direction. Bro had balls, right? Does having high testosterone for pain part of what makes one high value? If you're talking about high testosterone? Sorry, high tolerance for pain. Having high tolerance for pain, yes, it's part of what makes you high value. But it's not just a high value thing. It's like a quality of man type of thing. It's a survivability thing. What makes it good or okay for you to be able to survive rough terrain is your pain tolerance. Discipline is essentially pain tolerance. The ability to say yes to pain and no to pleasure over a long period of time, that is discipline. That is hard to do. That is why few men are disciplined. Does that make sense? So all the manipulation they acquired comes from a place of weakness and victimhood. Pretty much. Think of Littlefinger from Game of Thrones. When you're not physically imposing and you don't have any other means of power, you have to use subtlety and direction. Emasculation. Like, look at what Nadine has tried to do in the entire, thingy. Emasculation, poking at the ego, trying to, do all these different things to throw you off center and blah, blah. It's like, they have to do that. They have to resort to that. Because she would prefer to just punch me in the face. But she can't do that. So, the next best thing. Can you repeat the answer to the body frame thing? I got a phone call from my dad. What body frame? Oh yeah, like looking at yourself like incorrectly. No, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. You should not be doing that. Let's see. Oh, this is still Sardine going crazy. Ignoring women is violent misogyny from a woman's perspective, given how important validation is. That is a good point, Calc. That's actually a good point. That's a good point. I guess to a woman, since they're so validation driven, yeah, I guess ignoring a woman would be seen as some kind of malicious attempt at trying to make them feel pain. You're very correct. Violent misogyny. Interesting. Let's see. This is a genius look. Emasculation is masculinity want to copy us. Pretty much. Like, I think I saw a video someone made very recently about the same topic. How women try to control men's masculinity by using emasculation and homophobia, right? Women use homophobia a lot as a tool to control men and their egos, right? It's like, you're a man, you shouldn't be doing this. It's like, I'll do what the fuck I want. I don't care what you call me, I don't give a shit. And again, don't forget though, the women who are gonna do that to men that they don't know are women who don't have men in their lives. Because here's how it works. Beautiful women that have options, they only do that on the men that they can directly deal with. The men that they want to control personally. Women that don't have women in their lives, not women in their lives, women that don't have access to men in their lives, unattractive ones, they're gonna try to spread what they think is their influence across to other men. All right, that's how you know Nadine is single, by the way. That's how you know. Is if she had a man in her life, she wouldn't be doing all this. It wouldn't happen. And she's probably pissed off right now that I can just tell. How did he know? It's obvious. You know, it's obvious. I can't pin my comment. SMH, could you scroll down real quick? I'll get to it later. We calling these types of women sardines. Yes, we are. Let's see. Oh, you want to hop on live? That'll be on the next live, not this one. I gotta go soon, actually. Like 10 minutes or so. Let's see. Can we come on stage? He says. Nah, not in this one. Couldn't find an emoji for sardine. Isn't there a sardine emoji? Use the tuna one. Same fish, really. How do you heal or get over ghosting, which is a big disrespect when you have good intentions? Revenge. Oh, my boy. No, you're looking at all that incorrectly. First of all, a woman ghosting you is not an indication of the level of respect that you have as a person. Chill out, all right? Women are flaky creatures. They don't like to be held down for anything, and they don't like to stay in one place for too long. It is what it is. Especially in the beginning, when you don't have the tether on her called emotional investment. When you're not emotionally relevant to a woman, you don't have any tether on her yet, right? So you can't be mad at women for floating like a butterfly from one place to another. It is what it is. That's one. Two, stop taking rejection personally. It's okay. This woman didn't even know you. Right? So her ghosting on you doesn't mean shit. Because what is she projecting? An image of you that she familiarized herself with over a very short period of time? It means nothing. So don't take it personal. And then third, which brings me to everything, is like this is the culmination of everything I've been talking about. She didn't know you, don't take the rejection personally. You don't need to seek revenge for it. And honestly, even if she did know you personally, it still doesn't require revenge. How does that solve anything? What, you want to feel good about the way she rejected you and want to give her some kind of karma? It's not going to make you feel any better, I promise. It's just not. It's not going to be the sweet, sweet nectar of revenge you think it's going to be. It's not. It's going to be a waste of your time. She is not important enough to plan a fucking demise for. Trust me. Move on. On to the next one. Let's see. What's a sardine in the slang you guys are using? Oh, damn, Neb came in. I'm happy. I'm kind of happy you didn't show up too early. You would have gone in too hard on sardine. Sardine is drowning is crazy. Yo, homie, Ryu is funny as hell, but also I don't even know what a mod is. Moderator. They're the people that help to control this. Send this live after Drove. Seems like a missed gem. I got you. I will. I have a cousin. I already read that one. How many times you've been heartbroken, crying in the fetal position? Share some stories and lessons. Shit. I would say I've got like maybe 5 good breakups in there that are like, oof, those ones really hurt. The last 3 in particular, because all I did in those last 3 was pretty much make the same mistakes of the second one, right? And it's like, why am I not learning this lesson? What is the problem here? You know, it was the same lesson I had to learn over and over and over and over again. Bad breakups. Could you scroll to the bottom before the live ends? Fine, I will. Guys, if I skip your question, it's Ryu's fault. Get him. Let's see. Scroll to the bottom. Okay, let's see. I'm saying masculinity is a goal for women. Do you get me? Hopefully TikTok lets me say this. Women try to emulate male power by emasculation. Oh, that's actually a very good point. You see, one thing women will never admit to us as men is that they really envy us. They really fucking envy us. Women envy men. Women are very, to be fair to them, to extend that olive branch, I do feel like a lot of men envy women as well. But only the weak ones anyway. I don't envy women because I'm a powerful man. And once you have a certain degree of power as a man, you're not going to envy women anymore. But women can almost never attain to the same level of power that men have unless they align themselves with a certain man. A man that has that power. Oh yeah, listen to Dimitri, by the way. Video will be uploaded to school later. But yeah, women are very jealous of the kind of power we have, especially over them. They're very jealous of it. Very, very jealous. So whatever ways they can to try to copy and emulate the kind of power we have, they'll take it. And emasculation isn't the only way to do it, by the way. It's not the only way. I really believe the entire, feminist movement, the slut movement, slut walk, whatever, all of that was created so women can try to feel like what it is to be a man. I mean, it's not successful. Ask them. They'll be the first to tell you. I mean, they won't be the first to tell you. They won't admit it. But women are miserable when they try to be whores like us. It's just not going to work. They can't separate emotional attachment from sex the way we do. Not without severe help with, pills, drugs, birth control, alcohol, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, they want to be us, but they don't appreciate the fact that they're not going to be us because they're not the same creature we are. Right? Women have their own value. Women have their own unique power. It just doesn't appear the same way it appears for us. Our power is very overt, right? Very out in the open. But their power is a more subtle kind of power. And if they were to take the time and be patient enough to learn it, they would be very powerful. That's why I was just telling you, in the Old Testament, I fuck with Esther. Esther is the most, the prime example of a woman using a woman's power correctly. But it doesn't look the same as Samson. And bitches hate that. Even though I would argue Esther's power is better because, hell, that's how Samson fell anyway. Delilah used it on Samson. If they get their shit together, if women really get their shit together, they can tap into our power. That's their power. They're like that. What's the name of that X-Men character? Or that Supercell character that can copy other people's powers by touching them? It's in both, actually, X-Men and Supercell. Crazy in Supercell, Rogue in X-Men. They touch you, they get your power. Women can do that. They're so fucking impatient. They lack patience. They don't understand that the game is to become aligned with us, not try to beat us. Goofies. Fucking goofies. Did you touch on the gynocentric society we're currently in? A bit, but not as much as I should have, honestly. A bit. But, yeah, women, if they get this shit together, they'll get a lot of good things going for them. But they don't have the patience. They don't have the fucking patience. Let's see. Will do. If it goes full circle how they tried to be like men and bring us down. Exactly. Is persuasion and seduction your power? It is. It's a part of it, right? Their real power is becoming one of the most important things to a man in like lightning speed. That is their real power. The real power is becoming a priority in your life instantly. That is their power. Most of them can't do it, obviously. But yeah, they use it correctly. They begin to get to the point where they become a part of your decision making. Like when a woman is in your life and you care about her, inevitably, whether you try to or not, whether you try to avoid it or not, you begin to subconsciously incorporate the woman into your decision making. You do. That is their power. But most of them will never experience that because you're stupid. Like Sardine. Isn't that right, boy? Oh. Oh, will Kamala Harris winning give women a false sense of power? Absolutely. Oh God. I kind of hope she wins, just so we can create that massive, like, dichotomy between the good ones and the bad ones. If there's any good thing that'll come out of Kamala Harris winning, which I don't think she will, obviously. Like, she's not beating the getting shot in the ear moment by Donald Trump. Like, that's not gonna, come on. But if at all she wins, which, again, very small chance she does, but if at all she does win, if there's one good thing that'll come out of it, it's that the real bad women, so to speak, the women that are comfortable, that have no discipline with their behavior, especially towards men, they're going to stick out like a sore thumb. It's going to become very easy to spot from afar the women you should be spending time with and the women that shouldn't deserve any of your time at all. It'll be very obvious. The ones that are hiding in the pocket, obvious. They'll stick their heads out. They don't have a choice. They don't even have the discipline to not gloat at the win when Kamala wins. You see what I'm saying? So me personally, part of me is like, I hope Kamala wins. Just so we can get that advantage. It'll be so fun. Among other things, by the way. But yeah, Trump is winning. Shout out to Trump. Let's see. By the way, you skipped comments to Sardine, so thanks for answering my question. Oh yeah, no problem. Manpower is built to have strength, willpower. It's not just strength and willpower. It's the ability to tolerate a lot of pain. A lot of our power is endurance. Something women they don't really got like that, to be honest. You know, inevitable. The frame will go back and forth too. Most women are clueless of how to use it, though. Exactly. It's just clueless. Unfortunately. All right, I gotta go soon, guys. What's your zodiac? Taurus. I am a Taurus, and then I have 3 placements in Leo for some reason. Let's see. By the way, I read that one. What about mental resilience? That's endurance too. That's just endurance, but psychological. All right, I gotta go back up. My girl keeps breaking up with me and then returns after I give her space and enter no contact. Why? Because you keep allowing her to come back. The next time she leaves, before she comes back, make her pay a massive price. That's what deters them from just leaving inconsequentially next time like that. You gotta make sure that there's a price to be paid whenever she comes back like that. Could you drop the occult books in the group chat? Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Let's see. A guy gave a girl his number saying she likes me. We used to work together before. How do I proceed? His number or your number? I'm confused. Man, some chick on that is because I said I was a Capricorn. Yeah, women are space racist. Women are racist, are star racist. That's what zodiac is, right? The study of the stars. Women are star racist. So yeah, it is what it is. Sorry to hear that, man. Remember our updates via WhatsApp, bro. We have a few updates to make. Oh yeah, please. Indeed. Let's see. Alright, I do gotta go now though. Shout out to Blue Lock. Shout out to Blue Lock indeed. What type of price is big enough for her to pay after leaving and coming back? It depends on you and what you want to ask for. I would say ask her for something that you know she's not willing to give up. Ask her for that thing. Whatever you think, and again, you have to have been an observant boyfriend to this point, but whatever you think is like important to her, require that of her. That's what you need. We need one of Jesus' miracles for her to recover. That's funny. Can you repeat the answer? Oh yeah, I read that one. I want to get ripped to have the best possible chance of winning fights and getting what I want. Good. Get ripped. Get to work. How am I supposed to change my aura if I keep being left undelivered by these women? Why do you keep getting left undelivered? What's going on there? What are you doing incorrectly? If you're not getting the results you want, especially in game, then you're doing something incorrectly. Just because you don't know what that thing is, doesn't mean that thing doesn't exist. Does that make sense? So let's figure out what you're doing incorrectly. All right, I gotta go, guys. I got to go. I have to bounce. I have done like 3 hours here for you guys. That's an hour longer than I was supposed to. But I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for listening to me yap for hours. I appreciate you guys. Like, I appreciate the fuck out of you guys, not just because you're here, but because I can tell by the way you ask me questions, you're actually practicing. You're using your game, you're seeing results, and you're coming back with fucking amazing results. I'm grateful for that. I'm happy I can make an impact in that way. If you're new here and you want some help, please go and register for my free course. It's called Self-Belief, link in the bio. Or you can go over to my YouTube and watch my series called The Fundamental Laws of the Game. It is the most important video on my entire YouTube. Start with that. If you want to know how to incorporate a girl completely into your life from beginning to end, from the moment you approach her to the moment you actually incorporate it into your life, go and get my course, The Interview. It also has a bonus course in it, well, several bonus courses in it, including the fundamental laws of the game, the first type of it, the first kind that I've released that discusses the 3 most important aspects of the game, which is value, mindset, and tension. Those are the 3 major pillars of my game in particular. It has the digital pre-selection, which is pretty much The Interview, but the online version of it, how to get a girl from dating apps and online dating apps and all that stuff to meeting you in person and sealing the deal that way. And it also has a bunch of other bonuses in there, like crazy stuff. Go and check that out if you need to. But again, only after you've gone through my free shit. Please do not even attempt to patronize me or patronize my business in any way, shape, or form until and unless you have gone with the free shit and seen the results you get from that. Okay? You will have more faith in the stuff you have to pay for if you see how well the free shit works. I promise you, do it like that. I love you guys. I appreciate I appreciate you guys. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, share, all that crazy stuff. If you're in the group, hit me with a comment down below to let me know what you want me to talk about later. All right? I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. It's me, Jace the Pickup Scientist. Do with this information what you must.